we are live. It says going live. Okay, it says we're live. Cool.
Hello.
Hello.
Baby.
Yo.
Hi. Hey.
I'm gonna stop streaming on the Discord.
Yeah, there's no benefit to us seeing it.
The stream has ended. Cricket noise.
You made me think of YouTube stream ended.
Yeah, I was like, dude, what?
How's everybody doing? Is there anybody actually in the chat yet, or is it just us? I have a feeling it's
We
just
got
us.
7 people. I don't know if that's us.
So,
6.
hi, chat. So maybe the one person, whoever that might be.
Maybe. We did start a few minutes early, so we can give people a.
Oh yeah, is it off
few
season
minutes.
2021? I put 2020 by accident.
2021, yeah. I know it's weird. It still feels like 2020, doesn't it?
It is 2020.
Modified and no update.
It's nice. You guys hear all my like keyboard clicking, but the stream doesn't because I have a noise gate set up for the stream.
Ah, that's nice. Yeah.
How does the audio look though? Are we all around the same level? Because it looks like that on OBS, but I'm not sure.
Let's find
Okay,
out.
listen.
Everybody have a mic check, starting with me, then Jay,
And then me.
then Lloyd.
Hello.
Now,
Hi.
Coach.
I mean, I guess. Whatever.
Yes, there are keyboard clicking, but it's not mine. Not my keyboard clicking. I can see my audio levels. It's not me. It's somebody else.
Yeah, it sounds fine to me.
Okay.
It is not Jay. It is I, the troublemaker.
It's not me because I'm huddled over my phone.
Wait, hold on a second. Mal, first off, I don't think I could even join the volunteers chat.
What?
Yeah.
I feel
Could be
like
wrong
you
with that.
should be able
Maybe?
to.
I don't know. Okay, I can. Never mind. I don't know. I think some people might not be able to see it. Just, I guess, double check while we do this. But hey everyone.
Yeah, Lloyd is super quiet. That's not really something I can. He's bumped up to 200%.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's having some issues with his laptop. And yeah, you'll hear keyboard clicking from some of us. Sorry, we don't have as good a setup as J-Man here.
And my keyboard is loud as hell. Let me tell you.
Hey man, mechanical keys are the way to go.
Look, mine is RGB and it links with my mouse, and I'm a gamer.
That's all you need to know.
Okay, well, wow, it's only 2:30. This is gonna be a long stream, people.
Yes, it is. We're gonna go through a ton of stuff, and we're gonna start with. If you guys are ready, we can start with all our staff announcements. Catch anybody who isn't following the Discord particularly closely on what everything has happened in the last, I don't know, month or so.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah, about that long. A month or two.
Yeah. All right,
Or
then
let's start the video like as if we were starting a YouTube video.
Nah, but I don't think we're gonna cut this up that much.
Wait, do we need to introduce ourselves? Because
that is a good point.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Hi,
I'm people. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll just go down the Discord list. And hi, I'm Geom. I'm a staff member. That's really it.
Hi, I'm J-Man. I'm a staff member and a commentator.
Hi, I'm Lloyd. I'm very quiet right now.
He is also a staff member if that got cut out.
And supporter of Rugrats.
I'm Malachi, staff member, coach of Budokai.
And I'm Tosh. I am staff member and coach of Rugrats.
Yeah, so we're gonna go down and let's start with the announcements. So this is gonna be a bit of a rehash for anybody who's following the Discord, but just to catch you all up, quite a few changes have already been made to the league. So first things first, we've changed when base roster declarations, how that works. Teams also have to declare their character form at the same time they declare the roster now. Something that we might not have made super clear before is this means we're going to be looking at locked lower forms as potential free agents this coming season. So say androids once again pick up Perfect Cell. Since that form can't revert at all in the game, all his lower forms will be potentially looked at to be free agents for other teams to pick up. So things like that happen just to bolster our FA pool. We've also axed the Super Saiyan rule to a degree, and the only major changes has made is we were allowing Super Saiyan 2 and Vegeta to be used as a legal form right now, and we're going to look at other forms in the future, but that's the only one we were comfortable about making a decision on at the very moment. Following that, we have Masterless Changes. These are kind of quick, so we'll go through them. Baby Vegeta has been added to Androids and Royals for semi-obvious reasons. Devilman has been added to Resurrected Warriors. That's just something we missed. He shows up after Kid Buu explodes the world and it gets revived with everybody on it. 100% Final Form Frieza shows up on Derp because he got smacked around by Goku and did nothing but kill himself. Future Gohan got removed from cinema because he actually showed up in the manga before the movie or the special. And Team GT has gone a few changes. We've expanded the master list to be less rigid and weird, and just said anybody who made an impact on the show who was significant to the show. So Pilaf, Majin Buu, Lake Piccolo, Android 17, Jiro, and Kibito Kai have all been added.
Yep.
Following that, we have the trading system changes. So this one's kind of large, but we won't go into the nitty-gritty of it. Basically, we're allowing teams to now do permanent trades amongst more than 3 teams if they so wish. It's tough to get more than 3 teams to agree, but it's an option. We've also included a loaning system for teams to use. This means teams can trade characters for 1 season, and they can trade characters of different strengths by the team who's getting the stronger character in the trade, giving up Zenny for it. And then at the end of the season, the characters go back. Yeah, we've got a few of those. Tosh, you want to run down some of them?
Yeah, so starting off with first, I believe the first loan that we got was Pilaf for and 8 Zenny for Baby Vegeta. So it was a trade between Royals and GT. So GT got Pilaf now, and Royals got Baby Vegeta. The second one was between Resurrected Warriors and Budokai. So basically, Rez has early Goku, and Budokai has Android 18 for their team. Another one between it was Earth Defenders and Budokai this time, and Goku went over to ED, and Yamcha is now on Budokai, and I believe that's it for now.
That sounds about right.
Oh wait, is that? I believe that's. Oh no! I'm sorry, I missed the first one actually. So all of those I mentioned, those 3 were actually all loans. So those characters will go back to the original teams next season. But we actually had official trade, and that was between Cold and Royals. And so they traded Metacooler. Metacooler is now on Royals, and Mecha Frieza is on Cold.
Yeah, Royals in specific is going to look very different this coming season, and so is Budokai for 1 season at least, as they've gotten 18 and also gotten Yamcha. So they're no longer Team Goku. That has officially been switched over to Earth Defenders with the most Gokus in the game at 2.
Wow.
Moving on from that, crazy. Moving on from that, there was changes to the Rush Blast restrictions. So basically what's happened is we've gone away from looking at the total damage that a full volley of Rush Blast does, and now looked at the individual damage of each Rush Blast and how many they throw in a volley, and used both of those to create a ruling list. There are now 2 ban lists as well, one for partial bans, which restricts characters from using attack plus blues, alongside a Rush Blast 2 or Master Blast, and then a full ban list which restricts Rush Blast 2 and Master Blast outright. The semi-ban or the partial ban includes Deborah, Majin Vegeta, Scout Vegeta, Super Mid Vegeta, the buff one, and Sin Shenron. The full ban includes Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, because goddamn, Mid Vegeta, base form, and Super Saiyan 1, and Vegeta, every single form, because goddamn, Nova Shenron, Super Gogeta, and Frieza third form. And then just a little thing for people to note, he's only an FA option, but base Vegito is not on either of the lists. He is actually available for Master Blast and Rush Blast 2 in general. Lastly, I think of the big changes, we changed the Zenny distribution system. So teams, we're not going to get into nitty gritty. If you want to check that out, join our Discord. It's down in the link in the description. And you can read all the specifics of how it works. But basically, the distribution is a little bit higher on each end now. So if you're a stronger team, you get less Zenny than you originally did. And if you're a weaker team that did worse last season, you get more Zenny than you originally did. And on top of that, your playoff performance also determines how much extra Zenny you get. So now the playoffs matter for Zenny. And that is all the major changes we have done so far.
Yeah, but we still... go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do we have I know that you broke down the Rush Blast and Master Blast stuff, but do we actually have a list or a guide for that people can look at?
So
that's on the Discord. It's also on the website.
Yeah, the website, correct me if I'm wrong, Mal, has been updated with all this stuff now?
Yep. Everything that has been announced for changes has been pushed out to the website.
Yep.
Awesome.
Including Zenny, updated trading rules, Masterless Changes, everything.
Yeah. So you guys can either join our Discord. All this stuff is on our public staff chat for you guys to look at. Or you can head to our website where everything's a little bit better organized there, and you can find it in our rulings area.
Yep.
And I think that's all for announcements.
Yeah, but speaking of the website, I'm heading up a few new areas for us to get volunteers with. The website being one of them, modding being another, and building up spreadsheets and tools to help everybody in the league do the best they can. Hopefully, if you're looking for somewhere to get involved with the league, this would be a great place to do so. Website stuff is pretty straightforward. It's all text-based, and so all we really do is make sure that builds get to the site week to week, and then during the off season, make sure rules and other league changes get updated so that everybody we can just have one place to go and look for all the rules. We don't have to remember them just by word of mouth. It's pretty low key, but I would like to see if we get a couple people to spend maybe half an hour a week during the main season to just copy and paste the builds out there. And for spreadsheets and stuff like that, that's going to be like building the stats spreadsheet. If there's new features we want in the stats spreadsheet, we need someone to spend the time to make those, along with the player calculator that we're slowly updating and getting. At some point we'll probably release a newer version with some changes there. Enemy has been working on some stuff to make it a little more team friendly. And then for modding, we all want new stuff like new characters, buffing, nerfing characters, maybe new maps. But to do that, we need to have people available to talk with the modders and figure out what we can actually do, what the limits are. And at the end of the day, there's only so many hours in the day. So I'm really just looking for somebody to help us work with that communication and figure out what we can and can't do.
Yeah, I think the big point with any of our volunteer groups, as you're going to hear going forward in this stream, is the more people we have on deck in any specific group, the more we're able to do and the more we're able to get done in a shorter time frame. And also the people who are volunteering their time, they're also able to give their input about how we should take effect, and we usually listen to them pretty well. If they have ideas, if they have suggestions, and a lot of them tend to go through. So if you have ideas, if you have ways that you think you can improve the website, spreadsheets, or with if you have like an in-depth knowledge of modding, all of that would be really helpful, and we're going to listen to you to some degree.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
Is it question time?
Yeah, I think we should go into questions. And yeah, Vive saying presenting me as I think he's the main person in our chat that's a modder.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll go ahead and because it has been a while.
Oh yeah.
So just because that this is going to run long, I am going to try and keep discussion on it kind of minimal when possible. But
So apologies, we'll go kind of quick with these answers. Not a lot of time for staff stuff.
Yeah. So from HNS Croatian back in November, I've been binging the last 3 seasons of DBZ League and almost caught up. Love the new teams behind this and the new teams that were added. Question number 1, when you show off each team in each Kai division and there is a picture of a character in one of those teams, could you pick a character on the team that's currently in first place in that Kai division, so it's not random, and so that team has some sort of bragging right to show off? It also always kind of throws me off every season.
I don't think that's a bad idea. For the most part, we've been leaving it to our graphics team. I think it's mainly been Gomo who's been doing those specific graphics. But yeah, we can talk, and I'd like it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we can definitely talk with them. Anyone else?
No, I mean that one's pretty easy. It's pretty just like
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Question number 2. I've already answered this in the Discord chat, but just for the listeners, I've been watching DBZ League since about season 6 or 7, and to this day, I know what maybe 3 or 4 Pataras do. Is there any chance you could list each one in a description in a chat room on Discord, or perhaps talk about some of the Pataras every now and then just to clarify them more? I posted a link to our legal Pataras page. Discord is not great for archiving knowledge like this, and so that's one of the reasons why we have the website.
Yeah, if you hop down into our description on the stream, you'll find our website. You can find all the legal Pataras there. They're well written out. Some of them might be a little weird because we haven't updated everything, but they should all be pretty close to accurate. On top of that, we are trying to find ways to, educate our viewers through videos.
Yeah, that is definitely something on our list. I believe that we were talking about doing.
Yeah. And in the next section, there's actually something we'll bring up that could potentially help.
Yep.
But we'll say that.
So, but moving on, question number 3, why not call Team Boojins, Team Majins? Seems kind of redundant to have combined Majins and Boo's names when you can just use Majins, since all Boos are Majins anyway. This, if I recall correctly, when we created this team, Majins basically had no active supporters at the time, or something like that.
They had 2 newly active supporters, and Boojins had about 3 active supporters. And the big thing is both teams have a long history in the league. So unlike a lot of other teams where we were either scrapping them or expanding them, these 2 we were literally merging, and because they both have history, we felt it makes sense to sort of let the team together come up with their team name. For a while, it was actually called Majin Boos before the main season started. So it kind of is what it is. It's a weird scenario. It's kind of the only unique team name in the league like that, but that's why it is.
It's given
I
homage
also
to the
think
previous
it
2 teams.
nicely pays homage to the old team names as well.
Yeah, it's meant to let you know that both teams are put together here. It lets you know that it's not just one team. It's not just what the Majins used to be.
Yep.
Like we didn't scrap Boos in favor of Majins.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were trying to avoid, giving off the impression of.
Yeah. Last question from HNS. Maybe I missed it, but I still don't get the idea of Team Resurrected Warriors. If it counts to the end of Z, then isn't technically almost every single character possible to be put on that team. The long story short with that one is more when coming up with some of the team theme restrictions, we also take into account how the game splits up characters.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, just to use Goku as an example, mid Goku, who can only who we see at the Namek Saga, he is not on Team Resurrected Warriors because, from like the Namek Saga to when Goku goes into the hyperbolic time chamber, he doesn't die. But like early Goku dies to Raditz, and Goku dies against Cell and comes back to life. And so there's some kind of, there's a little bit of subjectivity around that. But
the game actually makes it fairly clear where they are cut off. It helps. All I'll say is that Resurrected Warriors is actually a restricted Masterless in comparison to what the team used to be, which is Team Afterlife. Anyone who died. We basically added a second part to the restriction. And while they still have a big Masterless, it's not
what it was.
Yeah, it's about half of what it was, and it's very much manageable. So a little weird. Well, we understand it. It doesn't. If you don't understand like all the very specifics of how the game dedicates the characters, it could seem a little funky, but it's actually more restricted than it appears.
There's also some characters that are in the series and then they don't show up again after the Kid Buu or really any of the Buu saga. So we can't really put those on Resurrected because while they may have died to Kid Buu, we don't know if they came back. Like, we don't know. So in the case that we don't know, they don't count.
Yeah. All right. Moving from N3X1, have any of the new teams left a good impression for you? I'm just going to start from the top, list a couple teams, and
every expansion team, like every new team, expansion team. I'm just happy that the league's working. I don't have anyone.
Jay?
Sorry, I was unplugging my fridge. I have to say Royals is probably my new favorite because I am a Majin Vegeta fanboy, but honestly, all of them have been pretty great about being competitive, which is really nice to see. None of the teams were way too weak or way too strong. Obviously, Sentai's still struggling, but that's coming from the Ginyu Force, so can't do much there. But I was really glad to see a lot of the new teams, at least, were staying in there.
Yeah. Lloyd?
Mostly for me, it's just about I really like GT and the designs of a lot of characters in GT. So if I were to answer that, I'd say.
All right.
Yeah. For myself, I'm probably going to echo G. Like, I like most of the new teams that have come out of this, including my own. My second favorite would probably be Royals. So, and Tosh.
For me, I want to say it's either GT or Cinema. Both of them have, well, Cinema mainly because now I think they're in the middle of testing Janemba and everything like that, but mainly because of freaking Gogeta is one of my favorites, and Turles as well. For GT, I kind of like the whole GT arc and everything for the most part. So yeah, and they both did very well. Especially like turning heads like in mid-season or whatever, and they're really good teams. So I like both of them. Those are my answers for that.
All right. Next question from Dorgard. With the least valuable player tournament being an official edition, what other ideas have been thrown around to add to the league schedule, whether pre-postseason or for the bowl?
Spoilers.
Yeah, those are kind of spoilers. Honestly, there's not a ton. You guys have already seen a lot of what we're adding, such as the TOP staff has created the whole TOP, the Tournament of Power. So that's the big one. I think that I'm just gonna leave it at that.
But we're always thinking of fun little events to increase at least stream time when it comes to the smaller streams, because the LVP and All-Star Bowl were a little bit shorter than I thought they were going to be. So, that the least valuable player took a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and then the All-Star took a lot less than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, it was a weird combination. I think we're probably looking at adding one more thing alongside the All-Star, but that'll probably come with a format change as well. So we'll see. What it is, no idea.
Yep. Moving on. From Danzo, are there any Pataras which have surprised us this season in terms of usage?
Mirage.
Yeah, whatever Muscle puts on their characters surprises me.
Yeah, spiritual control has not been used often in the past, so
That is true. Oh, and Stella the Strong.
Nah, I've seen Harume stand that on cool.
Well, honestly, this is like the first season to where I've been like, I feel like I've been like the most active this season, and I've rarely seen Stella the Strong being used, at least in my opinion. Like, at least from what I remember, at least. So that came as surprising. Budokai used it a lot, or freaking in Goku.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when he was basically guaranteed to throw out an ult every match, why not? So, moving on from Fiora, are there any characters from the new teams this season that have surprised you in terms of how good or bad that they've been?
Say a Woman being the all-star and the best player on Ginyu Force was a shock.
Sentai.
I thought it was going to be... Yeah, sorry, Sentai. I have to remember. Sentai. I thought it was going to be Saiyaman, because Say a Woman's not had a good reputation in the past.
Yeah.
I would say Baby surprised me the most, because in seasons past he wasn't that good. Maybe this is because he can transform, which he couldn't do in the past, but he really surprised me. What was he, like number 11 in the league or something?
7.
Yeah, Jesus.
Was he 7? Really?
Yeah,
he was a top 10.
I think at his peak, like midway through the season, I can't remember exactly, but there was like a 5-run stretch at one point where if it was just up to that point, he would have been like top 5 at one point. But I don't remember exactly if or when how that happened. But moving on, as a bit of a sequel to the previous questions, are there any characters from the older teams that have surprised you in terms of how good or bad they've been?
Just Say Woman, that's about it.
Who dropped
The only
off?
one that comes to mind.
I feel like we had a character that used to be really good that kind of dropped off.
Like Yamcha and Mid Goku kind of have
Yamcha actually did the exact same he did last season. Like,
fair.
500
So
damage.
I want to bring
damage.
this old boon of mine to the table, Gotenks, and how he saved our asses in the bowl to
It's
take us
true.
to the final.
He did take you guys to the finals. That is,
And then he
I
left
think
you
that's
there.
impressive.
He took you to the final and he
Listen,
dropped you off.
I talk so much shit about base tanks, and the man actually did almost 90, did over 90k and all.
Yeah. It was amazing.
So, moving on from Dorgard, will the third place match be adapted next season to allow the eliminated team to begin testing?
So, okay. The main reason is we want that to stay a competitive atmosphere. If teams start testing before the builds for the match are in, it's possible that one team gets an advantage because they get more tests in than the other, and it's just no longer that same fair competitive atmosphere. So for now, no.
And also we want the third place thing to be like a thing. Like we want a bronze, silver, and gold.
Actually, this reminds me, if you guys are willing to let me bring it up quickly, the little event that I had an idea about.
Go for it.
Well, nothing's been confirmed. We haven't even discussed it officially yet. I just sort of brought it up before, but we're thinking about trying to find a way to create an event to include the top 3 teams in the league. So whoever wins that 3rd place will get some sort of event where they get to get showcased in. Or at least that's the thought behind it. Nothing's been confirmed. We might scrap it if we find it unmanageable. But yeah, we're trying to find ways to make it more appealing to you guys. We understand that the week testing has been a little bit of a gripe.
That kind of answers the next question too.
Yeah. So from Buzz, did we enjoy the 3rd place match, and did we find it a fun part of the bowl that we want to try again going forward?
That's a yes from me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
did
it because you get to still be in there. Like, even if you don't make it to the bowl, at least you get, bronze.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. From Donut, biggest surprise of the season based on your preseason predictions, either for an individual character or a team as a whole.
Rugrats making it to the finals off the back of base coat tanks.
Yeah.
Not on off the back. Shut up. That is slander.
Right,
to
sorry,
our
off the back
team.
of Cell Jr.
I'll tell you what, Namek
really
going
killing me here.
undefeated for a while, that was my biggest
Oh, yeah.
surprise.
What, they went
Yeah,
7-0?
that's dark.
Yeah, they went 6-0. Week 7 they lost to, was it Bujins or who was it that knocked them out?
I think
They
it
were
was
the last undefeated team.
And they were.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly who beat them. I just remember that 6-0 start.
I remember even in some tests them just absolutely destroying us as Rugrats in tests, and just going, how do we beat these?
Yeah, they got their ducks in a row.
Yeah. Like, just for a particular character, I'm gonna say Baby Vegeta, but with that's already been talked about, so I'll just leave it at that. Moving on, Spoofy asks, any specific character form or build you hope a team can make work during their off season? Super Plus 2 and Goku Super Saiyan 1 with Style of the Strong.
Probably not biased.
Gold, though. I want him to be picked up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
What, you
I
don't
honestly,
want to go
I honestly want to see Jace be like a 50k character because I think he can be.
He almost went elite one week, and so he
Yeah,
definitely has
that's-
potential.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Jace.
I don't really have anybody in particular, but I don't know. Any of the characters that have been struggling, I hate seeing a character struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andy asked, he wants a Bean Daddy emote. We do not control that.
Yeah,
Well,
go to Discord, ask there for the mods and add.
I mean, super technically, I can because I also act as a admin for the Discord channel, but that's not something I can decide by myself. Moving on, Fiora asked, what are our hopes for teams during the off season?
To get good.
Get your testing in. Yeah, get good.
Get good, do your testing, get strong.
Yeah. Build muscle.
Yeah, so far, a
make
lot of-
Cell Junior work, and if he doesn't
Yes.
work, then bin him off.
This man right here knows what he's talking about.
Most teams have been testing at a pretty decent rate, I think.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I want. Here's the one thing that's going to be a guarantee. I want to see Derp drop Jarrell.
Yeah. Oh, that's a guarantee.
Yeah. If Dirk does not drop Jiro, I will have to revoke Fiora's membership from the Jiro fan club. From the Jiro club.
Listen, me,
All right.
Mel, Donut, Bleep, we all know what that feels like.
All right, let's
now.
speed through these last ones since we are pushing
Yeah,
it.
we are, what are the expectations for the Tournament of Power as an event, and will it be repeated? Very quickly, just we hope it runs well. We hope it goes smooth and sets a good precedent for next year. And it being repeated is probably mostly dependent on having people who are willing to run with it.
Yep.
Because we as staff had very little, like we approved it, we had oversight over the format, but we're not really the day-to-day running it.
Yep, you
I have
will
very
get to
high
see
hopes.
them later on in the stream. All right,
Yep.
that's it for me too.
Yep. All right. From Dorgard, with the potential addition of new staff, what areas or projects do you intend to open up, like expanded testing on characters or further work on modding?
My personal life, I'd like to have some time. No, we're gonna just use whatever new staff members we do get to work on everything we're already working on at a little bit of a faster pace. We do have a short off season this time too, so that's the main goal.
We
Next
did get a
season, who
question in
knows?
the chat about when the next season was going to start. Did you want to answer that real quick since you kind of mentioned it?
It'll probably, there's no hard date yet, but it won't be any earlier than I think late May. Yeah, based off our timetables.
Yep. I will say the next question kind of adds in. My answer is going to be, I think it will be more. I think another part of this is we do want to have some level of staff rotation. So like, no one here feels like being on staff is just, from now until the end of time. So it's just kind of having a continuity of, someone's going to be running it, even if, Mal and G and Tosh decide to go leave and, have to go do other stuff in life.
Yeah.
So
New blood also helps. It keeps things fresh, gets us new perspectives that we might not have thought of, because we get into rhythms really easily, which helps, but can also be a detriment after a while.
Yep. Moving on, Donut has asked, do you have any current plans in place in regards to marketing, branding, outreach to gain a bigger community, or are you more focused on building a solid foundation with teams rules first before focusing on outreach? If the former, are there any specifics you can provide in regards to how you plan to approach this apart from the new Twitter?
So we're definitely looking at solidifying the league's foundation first. We haven't done a ton on the networking, on the marketing side because of that. We are going to try and we want to have a intro video. We want to have some like tutorial videos for the league, like some, hey, this is the league 101 sort of stuff, similar to what was done before, but maybe a little bit more compact. The similar stuff that Squeed did in the old league, but a bit more compact maybe. And we want to reach out to other people that are in the same Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 realm on YouTube. If we can find them, if they're willing to work with us, that we can build some relationships with, that would be the main way. At the moment, though, there's just a lot with this being a soft reset league that we want to like make sure we're good with, that we can sort of coast for a bit while we work on that. So yeah.
Yep. That, and I think I just also want to add, like, to some extent, it's also a thing of most of us don't have the knowledge of how to effectively do what we're looking to do.
Yeah.
And so this might be a place where that new staff person might have that knowledge or have some idea on what we could try.
Yeah, again, fresh blood can help a ton. New perspectives,
Yep.
new info, new knowledge.
Moving on to the last question from Sen. Loans have been highly successful in terms of team engagement so far. Is this within expected usage?
No.
Yes.
No. Hell no. I don't expect this. I expected it to be used not like this. But yeah, it's a good thing, by the way. It's a good thing that it was used so much. I'm so happy that it, like 3-4 loans have already gone through.
Yeah.
Three loans and one trade.
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks. This is not within my expected usage. This is way higher. But I love it. I thought people would be more antsy about it, but now they're just like, yay, loans.
Yeah, well, and I think it goes back to, like, it's a lot less commitment, and then you
Yes.
can also have Zenny that it's much more tangible. It just feels a lot less riskier for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that is our DragonCast questions from Discord. Do we have anything before moving on to the commentators?
I'm gonna go prep them, and when I come back, you can pull them in. Keep people busy. Maybe ask chat what they want.
Yeah.
Okay.
If Chad has any questions, now's the time.
Yeah. I'm just scrolling through and seeing if there's any other questions. I don't see any. Yeah, Derp is saying that. Yeah, Derp is saying that they have made it crystal clear that they are dropping Jiro. As you should. As you should.
I'm proud.
Sad.
So proud.
Sad.
Sad for Giroux, maybe. Happy for everybody else.
I feel like Giroux will forever be on the FA bench because no one's going to pick him up. People will probably pick up Frieza Soldier over Giroux at that point.
As they should.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I am doing it.
Coach, get a color? No, you don't get color.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, bums?
Hey. Before we introduce our lovely new members here, for anybody who's not aware of what this stream's all about, we're going to share our time and we're going to showcase all our volunteers throughout this entire, maybe not every single volunteer, but a lot of our volunteers and as many of our groups as we can throughout this entire stream. So each section is going to be dedicated to a particular group. The first section up, after staff obviously, is the commentators, which we have so quickly brought in here. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'll go first. Hi, everybody. I'm DJ Numa.
Hello, everyone. It is Ryan here.
How we doing, everybody? Zem here.
Wait,
Hey.
we're missing one. We're missing one. Where's our
Oh.
fourth guy?
Oh, hey, I'm Jay. I totally haven't been here the whole time. More importantly, what color do you guys want your names to be?
Can it be a color
yellow.
I can see?
No.
Oh, God.
Make me
Which ones
bright.
are those?
Make me bright pink.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
I heard
Yellow
you,
for
Jay,
Zem?
and you just came in here.
Oh
I'll be-
yeah.
Can I just be black? Because then I can at least see it.
I don't know.
I
That's up to
can.
Jay
I
if
mean,
that- yeah.
whatever,
Thank
man.
you. Yes.
That might make the
Yellow.
R and the A kind of hard to see with the outlines, but okay.
I'll just unstroke it. We're good.
Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, so
Are y'all
for
considering adding?
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. No, I was reading the chat real quick. That's
Yeah.
all.
oh okay.
Yeah, while the commentators were introducing themselves, we had a question from chat.
Yeah.
Asking if we're considering adding characters to the league via mods. Just the very high level answer is it's something into, but no concrete decisions have been made yet.
Yeah, I think we could say we're probably not going to do it this season at all. It's just kind of out of our scope at the moment with the short time and our first time doing mods. So in the future, it's more likely, maybe. I don't know.
Depends on if we can get volunteers.
Yeah. That's
Biased.
just a tad. Anyway, so I was gonna say, DJ over here is not only just commentator, but are you a supporter of no one right now, or are you still a supporter of Costume 2?
I am always going to be a supporter of Costume 2.
All right, he's a supporter
Always.
of any team that uses Costume 2.
There you go.
And I think you were like the previous minor leagues head.
Yes. I headed the minors from season 6 to I think it was 9 or 10 that
Yeah.
we got up to.
Brian is also our head of stats, which he will be staying on for during that section. And he is the coach of Team Muscle. And-
muscle.
Yeah, and Zem is our head of testing and a supporter of the Boojans, as well as a sometimes Capsule Cast member. I don't know how that works.
Stat. I do a lot of things for the league.
Yeah, that one's a bit more iffy. But yeah, all of them sort of have been in the league for a while and have their influences abound. There are no other commentators about. We only have the 4, and it is kind of a new system. So anybody who's from the old league is probably more familiar with Squee and Piff as the dynamic duo. And we've changed that up a bit. Now it's 4 different commentators on a rotational schedule, working with each other at random points throughout the season and throughout the playoffs, week in, week out. How do you guys feel about the whole system in place? Have you guys been enjoying it? Have you guys not been enjoying it?
Honestly, I think that it was a pretty good system. It was pretty fun. some, especially when random stuff came up throughout the season, and we had to scramble between the four of us to go. Okay, I can do this week. I can do that week. I can't do this week or that week.
Yeah.
Where's our blooper video?
Oh boy, that's coming. That's eventually we'll have enough.
Basically, me and any Patara that's semi-obscure.
No, I really enjoyed the whole aspect of being able to commentate. It's really an honor, and the opportunity to pop up and try to fill the shoes of Squee and Piff was really big, but it was really fun. And with the four of us being able to rotate out is less stressful. You don't have to worry if you're not as available. And sometimes it's just nice to not sit there and commentate and just sit back and just watch it. So being able to get both sides of things is really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
definitely
say-
a lot less stress than having to just be like, okay, we're doing it this Saturday. Like, you had plans? Sorry.
What plans?
I will say, having been a supporter and then a coach, and now being a commentator for it, it makes the matches that you're watching a lot more stressful than if you're just a viewer, but it's so much more fun that way as well.
Great to hear. Yeah, no, the whole rotational schedule, having you guys be able to like take over for each other is a blessing. We actually got through an entire season with this new system. But there was a couple of times where staff had to step in, but the fact is, there was no week we took off.
Yeah.
So that's a big old plus in my books.
And we were only late like half the time.
Yeah. There might have been a few issues with getting everyone prepped. Actually, you guys want to like fill everyone in on some of the process that goes into this? Because man, we woo.
Do you want me to go with the worst case scenario first?
Yeah, why not? Let people enjoy the
the day where my power randomly went out 10 minutes before the stream.
That was bad.
I'd say it's no worse than my computer cooking itself and us having to
That
be an
is
hour
true.
late because I was dumping
Oh,
frames.
yeah.
Oh man. So
And then
okay.
and then the time I didn't have the right ISO, and so we had to download that.
Dell transforming.
Oh yeah. Okay, so for everybody who's wondering, as commentators, we usually set up about an hour beforehand. We usually set up the ISO in the save states for the matches the day or a day or two before, when we get the builds in and we get the memory cards done. And then we meet up to set up the stream itself proper and make sure everything's all right, the graphics and the music and everything's all set up and situated about an hour before the stream starts. Sometimes that's great. Other times you forget to re-enable cheats because you were doing a test stream for commentary testing, and you all of a sudden have people that have 2 health bars.
Yeah, the commentary testing, let me fill people in on that. Because this is the first time we've had all these commentators commentate. This is the first season commentating with each other. I ran them through commentary tests to like get them acquainted with each other and get sort of a feel for how each other commentate. Because boy, is this more work than you would imagine. And
Never forget
during
the
so,
dumpster fire.
yeah, that too. And so while we do these tests, I have them remove the cheats so they're not running legal matches, so they can't actually get any testing out of it. And I have them commentate over that. So if we forget to re-enable stuff, oh boy. That's usually on me though. Don't blame the commentators. If it's a mess up on like the process, it's on me.
Yes, always blame G. This is how we
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah,
This is the way.
definitely G.
Yeah, and okay. All right. Well, thanks guys. I appreciate that. Really like the support.
You're our staff member, G. We'll never forget you.
I will say,
tell
most
you
of the
what.
time, the stream.
Mhm.
So what happens is we meet an hour before, we set everything up in 15 minutes, we talk for like 30 minutes, and then we realize everything's broken in the last 10.
It's we're gonna fix that process. We're gonna make it better. We've had a big talk about how to improve it. But yeah, usually we try to test everything ahead of time, and then there's like some one off thing that we've never had to test for before that goes wrong like 5 minutes beforehand. And then we have to add that to the list. And it's always something new. But yeah. So how about we get people, if anybody in the chat is looking to ask commentators any questions, now is your time. Think them up. Ask something you want to know from any of the individuals or the group as a whole. This is your chance to talk to them. While we wait on that, how about I ask you guys a question first to get y'all prepped?
No.
So, the real simple one. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's the end of the stream, guys. Thank you for showing up. No, okay. But,
okay.
Yeah, no, I'm messing around. So, how about, what was your guys' favorite stream to commentate on, or like favorite match to commentate on?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Ooh.
Kind of biased. I try to be unbiased, but when it comes to like commentary, you could tell some matches I really get excited for. Mostly for my team, of course, Bujins. One of the best season matches was Bujins versus Budokai in the main season. That match was crazy. A lot of back and forth, tagging, ults, planet destroying. So that was really a really great match to commentate over.
Yeah. For me personally, the LVP stream was so much fun. We got to see Goldo prove his dominance. There you go. It's Goldo. He's a great man. But basically any match that Derp did decently in, and you know, they may have only had like one win, but all of their matches were really fun to watch. So
there was quite a few close ones. I would probably say my favorite would have been the stream that I came back after the hiatus of moving, or the stream where it was the Muscle Bujins match, where I was commentating with Zep.
Oh, that was a good one as well.
Jay, you got a preference?
Yeah, I guess mine, I'd have to say the Gauntlet, just because it was so much fun. I know everybody hated the fusions, but I loved them.
Fusions are my favorite.
Yeah, same.
We got a question from chat, specifically towards Ryan. Since you're a coach, a head of stats, and a commentator, those are three big positions. Armed Weiss wants to know, how's it like handling and juggling them?
Weiss, I am going to postpone that question until the stats portion, so that we can focus on the entire commentators.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll hold on to it then.
I will answer from the old miner's head perspective of it's a lot of stress, but it's doable. It's manageable.
All right. Favorite type of chips, everybody?
Oh, sour cream and onion.
Oh, that's a good one.
Funyuns.
Oh,
Funyuns are good.
You know, you're
It's
right.
respectable.
What about bangles? You know, witch fingers.
I had some bangles like a week ago, man.
It depends on my mood. Sometimes I'm really into blue Doritos, and other times I'm into like baked Lays for some reason. I don't know why. I go fucking crazy for baked Lays.
Good question.
They're really delicious, though. Even just the basic original flavor, baked Lays is amazing.
Oh, it's bomb. And there's actually a really good question in chat.
Before we get to it, let's go down the list, because I think someone was asking. It's not posed as a question, but I think they were asking it. What is your guys' best match of the season?
I think that was kind of the same as the best stream for half of them, because I feel like
if it's the
most
same
of
one for you guys,
said-
it's the same one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So many matches, it's hard to remember.
No, I got the one. I got the one, and it was the one where we all ganged up on one team. I think it was it Sentai versus somebody? It was in Hell. So who's
Cinema,
on base
that.
in Hell?
Cinema.
Yeah, Sentai versus Cinema.
Oh yeah, because it was like their
Sentai's
last
first
chance
win. It was such a good match, and we all were like, okay, we're neutral. Go Sentai!
You can't not root for the underdog. It's tough. It's tough, right?
It's really tough, but that had to have been my match of the season just because of how hyped we got for Sentai winning that.
That was a good match. All right, next question. Do any of the commentators have some sort of pre-stream warm-up that they do to get themselves in commentating mindset, or do you just jump in and hope for the best?
we kind of, so I think that our pregame warm-up that we do where we set up the stream, we like chat and stuff, and I think that's the best warm-up we can have, because then we just like start chatting with each other and we just kind of get loose and get used to talking with each other again, and try to get like a rhythm with each other. At least that's what I think.
Yeah,
I think that's a good answer for that. Yeah.
that a lot of beer.
That'll loosen you up for sure.
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, I think that Jay actually hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah, I from the outside looking in, I think it helps you guys too. Definitely, considering this was the first season y'all were commentating together, just getting those like 20-30 minutes to chat, even about non-Dragon Z League stuff, just sort of like loosens the nerves, it seems.
It's very rarely about Dragon Ball Z League.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are gonna talk about it for like 2 hours straight, anyways, and why would you go into it beforehand?
Yeah, most of the time it's us memeing on each other.
All right, a follow-up to the chips question. Thoughts on Pringles?
No, you skipped one. Are Cheetos a chip? Or a cracker
Or
or
a
something
cracker.
else? And the answer is actually they're none of those. It's a puff.
That's
Yeah.
true, they are puffs.
Yeah, the cornmeal made originally for a horse feed.
Yeah.
They eventually
Oh.
just put some cheese powder on and fed it to us humans, but
Hey,
Well,
that's
us
really
Americans
good, man.
will eat anything. You give me some fried raccoon on a stick, you know how it goes with that thing down.
Give it some
See,
fried
in-
Oreos.
In the UK, we don't have Cheetos, so I've never experienced this like mystical thing from.
You've
across
never
the
had
pond.
cheesy poofs?
It's not easy being cheesy.
Oh,
How
boy.
about we buy a 10-pack of Cheetos and just send them to Lloyd?
They might not get past customs.
All right. I got a question for you guys.
Well, now it's the Pringles question.
Oh, right. You
Pringles,
guys didn't answer the Pringles.
Pringles. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Also, I can't fit my hand inside a Pringles can.
yeah.
Same though.
That's actually a problem.
Pizza Pringles,
It's good
though?
in the sense. It's good in the sense of like, hey, it's compact. They're not wasting space. But then like you just can't get in all the way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Pizza Pringles are the best, by the way. Just
That's pretty darn
that's-
good.
Oh, those are good.
Combos are good too.
Fuck
I
off.
also want to say within,
Oh,
within
whoa.
my friend group, I am a well-renowned Pringle eater.
What does that mean?
means he likes
He's an eat
Pringles, goddamn.
man.
Like a speed eater or like a,
It's
a
like the Cookie
connoisseur,
Monster
like
of
a wine
Pringles.
tester?
Any Pringle that I see, I will devour.
The Pringle monster.
Okay.
Man. So
Like
I actually have a question for the staff.
Oh.
Those, at least those of you whom commentated.
Oh,
How'd you
yeah, no.
guys enjoy commentating this?
Enjoy?
Well, there's G's answer.
I feel
Pringles
like
leak.
G was only what you commentated because I didn't want to for one.
Yeah, I commentated because it was I think Zen was the only one available as a commentator, and my schedule fit the best. I think it was fine, but my issue is my living situation doesn't make it excellent for me to scream, so I'm not comfortable with it.
Hmm.
Should my living situation change soon, I'd be more up for it.
In that stream, you hear a lot of rooms and all that stuff at random times for whatever reason.
Pringles Z League, yeah, we'll rename it to that. Okay.
And I think Mal was the only other one, right?
Yeah, Mal was the other one. He does some Smash League stuff though. So
Yeah, I don't mind doing commentary stuff, but it's just I'm happy to be a backup, but that's about it.
yeah. Anything to keep the league going.
Yep.
All right, I've got a question, or I guess more of a topic for us to go over. So this off season, you guys are going to have you guys have had a break for a while now. You're going to start working again soon. The TOP streams, the Tournament of Power's coming back up.
T-O-P.
Yeah, they're going to be doing their prelims soon enough.
Ooh.
And you guys are going to have to commentate over it. We're going to get you guys in. And how are you guys feeling about the Tournament of Power?
It's almost like my baby's coming back to me with things.
It's the
That whole
new age
3v3
minors.
league. Yeah, it's the new age minors. And I'm actually really excited because I love 3v3 stream, dude. So much fun.
I've been keeping myself blind, like I have that entire section muted, so that when I do go in to commentate, it's just entirely fresh, and I can be surprised by everything.
Yeah, I'm the same as well. I decided that I'm just gonna just keep it fresh. So I'm going in blind. So I'm gonna channel my inner Numa, and we're gonna go ahead and do this.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
What
Jace.
is a brain?
Oh,
What is a brain?
you know what? Not much apparently.
I am the real DJ.
One more thing that we are looking into doing soon. We've talked about this last off season. We've talked about it. People have suggested it throughout the main season. We're gonna try and get showcase testing done. This means 4v4 tests will occasionally appear on our main channel, which you guys will be commentating over to give the viewers a little insight into the behind the scenes of every team and what they're doing to prepare for the upcoming season. It'll also be a
So
bit more
this-
like educationally focused, so it won't be like the hard core energetic commentary. It'll be more like, hey, this is what they're doing, this is like the work they're doing, and obviously you guys will be more entertaining than I'm being right now. But how do you guys feel about that? You looking forward to giving that a little bit of content to look at every team's work?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if we say no, we're fired. So okay.
I will preface this with I've forgotten more about this game than a lot of people knew going into it. So
Yeah. Well, we are going to take measures against that. I promise you. Don't worry, DJ. We've got plans for you.
DJ is
Yeah,
going to
it-
be running the training courses on the channel. He's going to be learning while you learn.
Yeah,
What were you
if,
about to say, Sam?
DJ's kind of thing is the tournament of power, then this testing.
Yeah.
Sales is kind of my thing as head of tester, and I've always been kind of the very analytical person of the commentators, so I'm really looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. I see a lot of tests, ton of tests. We'll go more into detail when we get the testing part of the stream. But no, I think it'll be fun. We tested out the idea a couple of times and working on it, so it's just easy content because of course teams will always be doing 4v4 requests, and that's always something we can commentate over.
Yeah. It probably will be because Zem is also head of testing, which we'll have a segment for later on. He probably will be the one, most of them. So don't worry, DJ. You won't be, we work to the bone.
Woo!
We want to quiz you on it every way. Like, what does indignation do? God damn it! Tell me the exact stat. 10% or whatever. I don't even know what percent it is. It's like 1.2% every life bar or something.
Wow, you don't even know.
I don't know. I just know it makes you stronger the weaker you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What gets stronger the weaker you get?
Yeah. Well,
Supers.
all right. Yeah, we're about at the end of this segment. So if there's anything else you guys want to say, any shout outs, any closing statements, feel free. It's your time.
Shout out my
Okay.
mic for carrying me through this season.
Hello, Epic Gamers.
I just want to say thank you all for sticking with us. I know that sometimes we're sitting there, we're falling flat on our faces, going with
Some of
stuff,
us.
but yeah, well, some of us. I'm looking at myself mostly. What is a brain? But yeah, thank you for sticking with us, and thank you for having us as commentators. Commentators, yes. Case in point.
Yeah.
But no,
I
it was a
love
lot
to
of fun.
have some commentaries with my burgers.
Commentator
right.
tots.
Ryan and Zem.
Yeah. You guys.
I just really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you guys for all the support that you guys give us every single week that we commentate. That you actually decide to actually listen to our dumb voices, and even though we mess up, we're not perfect. That you guys stick with us. It was a beautiful, awesome season from 2020. Looking forward to commentating again in 2021, and of course other things as well. But yeah, really just a lot on our plate, but love the work and love the hobby. So thank you.
Couldn't say it better than Zem. Just love doing this.
Ow!
No.
Oh, shot through the heart, just like Toad does to me every week.
No comment.
All right, that's the end of our commentator section. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
it's been great.
Bye.
Thanks for having us. Have a good night.
Ryan, you're gonna stay here. The rest of you guys enjoy.
Help! I'm trapped.
Got the chains on you today.
All right, I won't let the door hit me.
Yep,
Yep.
I'll be back.
All right.
Adios, guys.
I'm trapped.
Yeah, you are. And welcome to our tester section. For anybody who's not aware,
Stats
Sorry,
section.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm looking at the wrong thing. I have a document here. I'm looking at the wrong side. That's my bad. We're still our stats section. Let's introduce you to this completely new person. Hey, Ryan, let's play. Who are you?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos.
Beanie too.
Yeah, so Ryan, you are our head of stats. And but we're not gonna bring in any of the other stats members on and the same thing will be with the testing team, unlike any with the other volunteer groups, simply because there's too many of you guys. You guys are so engaged in it, and we have so many people.
But we need more.
We do need more. The more people, the better.
Oh, yeah.
The more we can do, and we'll talk about how that'll help in a bit. But let's run down. Do you have all the names of the people who's on your stats team, or do you want me to run?
Oh, absolutely. I can just go do a little thing
Yeah.
right here where I
Give him
end
a
up
shout
going
out.
into. Yeah, so Zem is one of my stats people, so thank you, Zem. Tosh has been a stats person. Thank you to that. We also have a Minecraft Steve, Fiora, Donut, and looks like that's all I have right now. Yeah. Spoofy, I think, was doing some stats, but personal reasons came up, so he or she wasn't able to continue it anymore.
Mhm.
But yeah, so all of those stats people, thank you for kicking ass in getting stats done on Sundays
Yes.
for the league.
Oh, question:
Yeah.
Was there any stats members that have recently dropped, or is that all of them?
There was also Brenda as well.
Brenda. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I just want to point out, this last year's stats team has been the most insane group of people doing stats ever. I talked to them. I told them, hey, the streams are done on Saturday. CapsuleCast does their videos that go up on Friday, but they do it roughly around Wednesday. Could you get your stats done by then to help them? It's not a hard deadline, but if you could do it, that'd be helpful. They started finishing them Saturday night and Sunday morning.
Yep.
Which is
I think the latest we've had it get done is maybe Monday.
yeah.
But I mean, these are people doing. Every single person minimally had 2 teams. Some people ended up having 3 teams worth of stats, and they're tracking every single piece of damage that gets done, every B2 fired, every ultimate, every clash, every tag, whether the tag is a selfish tag or not. So it's a lot of data that these people are doing for 2 teams for 4 people each. So that's 8 people that they're doing the league for. And the fact that constantly Sunday, with I think 1 week being Monday, just constantly getting it out. Beautiful job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just an amazing group. But yeah, there's more we want to do, and as effective as they've all been, there's more we want to do, and we don't want to keep piling on more work for every individual. So the more people we have joining the stats team, join in the Discord that's in our description. There's a link there. Join in. You can say you want to volunteer for the stats team, and we'll drop you right in. The stats team's inactive during the off season for the most part. There'll be a few things we'll be working on, but not anywhere near as much as the main season. But the more people we have, the more things we can do. Such as, do you want to reveal some of the things you've been working on, Ryan?
So far, the current thing that I've been working on is there's also in our Discord. Make sure to go there. Make sure to join, follow us, all that. There is a stats suggestion channel. So if there is a specific stat that you want to end up seeing, Like we started working on B1s, but that didn't really phase out, but we're hoping to get that done for the next season. So if you wanted like B1s done, or like the biggest one that will end up getting changed for 2021 is going to be time on field and average damage per second, basically. Those are going to be the two biggest stats that we're going to be adding in, so that we have a better idea as to how well certain characters are doing. So if you looked at the spreadsheet for the last one, the last season, you would see like Pan and Bojack and I think Raditz were near like the bottom. But if they came in, only did 3,000 points of damage because that's all that's left, well then, you know, that's not a real reflection as to how they do. So having this also damage per second and time on field stat in will just give us a better idea as to who really is the worst of a character and who's the best of a character.
Yep. Just one more thing to take into account, to give teams more of an idea of how the characters are doing. It's also pretty useful for like tank characters. Now you can see like, hey, my character is actually lasting this long with the tank build. It's working out, or is like he's lasting 30 seconds. That tank build ain't doing none. So there's a lot of useful things with it. And on the staff side, we can use it for a bunch of different events, or for like the All-Star game, it might give us a more accurate measuring for selecting All-Stars. There's a ton of possibilities with this. But yeah, that's I think the big thing.
Yeah, there have definitely been some other stat suggestions. I don't know what they are off the top of my head. Oh, like one of them is number of times went to max power mode. So I mean, we could definitely end up, you know, we could add those in so that way you guys have more data to be able to help out your teams and be like, okay, this character goes to max power 5 times last match. Maybe we throw them on like a super or a spam build or something. So, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's also we've talked about this a little bit, but we're looking at like improving the spreadsheet in different ways if possible. I think you got added to the spreadsheet group to work with Econ, Enemy Controller, and Mal.
Yep.
To try and improve. They're currently working on the player calculator, but we're going to try and improve the stats sheet too. If there's ways, now this isn't something we have worked on yet, but if there's ways to make it more modular, to like, hey, showcase this and this for this character, that would be so much easier for people to scroll through, so much easier for people to look at, and they could find all sorts of different stats just by combining stuff and linking them together. So the more people we get to help with different areas, the more we can do that sort of stuff. But like Ryan said, the main goals right now is to add that damage per second thing. In the meantime, how about we get some questions from people? So if anybody has any questions about the stats team, or stats in general, or how we gather stats, or any questions about potentially new stats, feel free to ask them now. This is your chance.
Yep.
And
I will go back to the armed we, since I said I would push this one off into this section. So Ryan, what is it like having 3 big positions, being a coach, a head of stats, and a commentator? I'm very busy because not only am I requesting the tests for Team Muscle, you know, I'm discussing the builds with Team Muscle in determining, you know, what the builds will be for a week, doing the stats, updating the spreadsheet, commentating during the week. I also work a 40-hour job. I also stream on my own time. I also have my own YouTube channel. I sell cards on the side. So I am a very busy person. And so it's stressful, but I seem to thrive when I have my arms in 17 buckets at once. So it's
busy.
Yeah. If there is a max power stat done, would coming in with savior count for it, or does they have to Ooh.
That's a good point. I think the idea, the spirit of gathering that stat would be
manual charge up, I feel.
Yeah, to see if a character willingly goes into it, because if you're checking max power done, then Savior kind of negates the point of them doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an auto start.
Yeah, it's an auto come in, which, I mean, if we look at tags for that character, then, I mean, we could just add that in. And then if you're like, okay, how many times did he charge up to? We could just subtract tags. That's not a problem. But I think if it was going to be like they went to max power 3 times, it would probably be a manual. They charged all the way up to max power. And then did they use it type thing.
Yeah, because for the Savior thing, you can just look at tags and it'll
Yep.
give you like a better representation of how well they use it. Another question was, what's the worst stats thing you have to deal with? So like false courage.
False courage is absolutely the worst. I didn't know this for the last however many seasons, but YouTube has a function that you can pause the video and then either hit the left or right arrow key and it goes frame by frame. So we started doing that for this season, which is why we ended up getting like so many elite statuses that were like 1,000 over, is because we were counting every single minutia damage. But when it's false courage and you're going frame by frame, like a punch will be 36 damage, but then another punch will cancel out that damage and make it 48 damage for that punch, but then another punch will cancel that one out and make it 37 damage. So it's all right, let me go frame by frame, see when the damage resets, write down what the damage was. So the stats can take a while, especially if damages get cut off constantly like that, or there's just a bunch of false courages, or even clashes that they get hit into a clash, but then immediately end up hitting like a rock, which resets the damage for some reason. So
Yeah.
But the damage counter will actually reset itself randomly at times. You can do
I have
a full
seen that
combo, and then a rush blast hits, and all of a sudden it goes down to 40. But you didn't get the full number that is actually needed.
I would say out of the 3, though, the false courage is probably the worst. So,
man, Kaiju must be a nightmare for you guys.
If everyone goes big and there's nobody with some sort of draconic aura type thing where they can stun them easily, then if they go big, Kaiju can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, and light body as well. Just light body sucks.
Oh, for the rush blasts.
Oh yeah, Snuffy also mentions Garlic's alt apparently auto cuts off its own damage counter on the 3rd hit.
Oh yeah, because that's true. It hits twice, and then for some reason it's like, oh, let's just reset and hit. If the idea is ults per max power, then it would include Savior. So that's back to the.
Well, ults per max power would just be alts.
Yeah, I mean that's basic because that's the only time you can fire ults is in max power. So
yeah,
you can be like, okay,
he went.
Yeah, so I mean, you look at the max power stat, and it's like, okay, he went to max power 4 times. He fired 1 ult. Obviously, he's not going to fire his ult, so maybe we don't throw Style of the Strong on.
Oh, I see what you mean. Ults per max power in that way. Okay.
False courage. Wall cancel the attack. Can't imagine being that busy and having to pray for the snowman's safety.
Was that like a whole ritual beforehand?
No, it's just I choose somebody, that's their name, and once the snowman dies, then I choose somebody else.
Before every stream, he has to prepare a chicken and sacrifice it for the safety of the snowman.
Lot of false courage talk. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. False courage is a pain, but if you want to help reduce the pain of the stats team, again, go to our Discord, join it, and join the stats team there. You can help them out and potentially work on the new stats and new projects for the stats team as well.
Yeah, because if we end up getting enough supporters, once we end up getting like 16 supporters, where every person is doing one team, and let's say we then got to 20 supporters, then it would be more of a breakdown, like, all right, these people are doing damage for these teams, but these people are going to do the special moves, they're going to track the time, etc., etc.
yeah, like at that point we can add like even more crazy stats as well. Just if we have the hands on deck to do the workload, why not?
Mhm.
I think I've brought this up. This is like a ridiculous amount of work that would need to be done, but a potentially more accurate way of gathering damage stats is damage done versus damage taken. If you can, if you can track how much damage your character has taken in a match, and
To
they
see if
don't,
they have a positive damage ratio.
yeah, especially if they don't die in the match and they like finish off the match, you can really tell. Are they pulling their weight or not? Because like again, in the scenario, Bojack shows up at the end of the match. There's only 5k damage left. Kills the character 20 seconds in. But he only took 1k damage doing it. Like that's a 5-time difference. Something like that. That's
So
not something we're
similar,
gonna
just
make
like
them do.
Cade.
That might be a 2022 thing.
That's
depending.
in the future. We need hands on deck to make that happen because that's a lot of work for them, and I'm not gonna push them.
Yeah.
Fiora is just nah.
Lionel Low joined the stats team. Oh, please no, not a damage taken stat. Yeah. See, even the chat doesn't think it's easy to do. But yeah, it's it would be kind of a big undertaking.
Mhm.
Now let me think. Is there any other work
Ooh,
we're
new
trying?
stat. See how many times a snowman dies.
Okay, so let me bring that up. Some sort of miscellaneous stats we might end up implementing into the next season. So like Raccoon, Muscle, Zarbon, Planting, health or key grabs from like 19 and 20. I don't know if trap shooters would count, but I mean snowman death, that could definitely be a thing.
Yeah, it would. I like that one season we had miscellaneous stats. I think it was fun. It was just a lot of work, unfortunately.
Yeah. And not every the thing is not every character can have miscellaneous stats, so it's kind of a like pick and choose sort of thing.
It might be better on a team by team basis. 16 miscellaneous ain't so hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many times Iron Fist has cried?
Oh God.
I think he's still alive, so I mean,
Yeah, you just
I don't
scared
know.
the shit out of him every match. But yeah, I don't think there's any. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's no other big projects you're working on, right?
not at the moment. Because it's Google spreadsheets, and I'm not as familiar with Google spreadsheets. Whenever I add columns in, the rest of the sheet doesn't seem to understand that I added columns in on a sheet, so they update their formulas. So I have to go in and manually adjust the formulas.
That's atrocious.
That's why it's like these are the two big ones. If I choose something else, maybe.
I see. Well, I'm gonna make one last call for people to have questions for you. We're still about 10 minutes out from finishing the segment, but we can end it early if need be.
Present bombs used. Yep, that would that'd be one.
Yeah, that's a decent stat. I like to see Shenron facts come back. Just grab a few before the stream and pop them up during the relevant matches. That one's more on the production side and hardly editorial. So it's kind of tough. Those would be hard to do midstream. They'd be more likely on a video thing. And again, we need like a more dedicated editor for something like that. But yeah, that's off topic. Yeah. If anybody else has any more questions, ask them now or forever. Hold your peace. And Ryan, I guess for the time being, you can.
Cold Kingdom number of transformations done. That's if they have transformations. So.
Yeah, they might limit Frieza for once. Then again, Cooler wouldn't be limited. Then we'll just start a higher form Frieza. But yeah. I guess it doesn't look like any more questions are coming in, so you can have your, unless there's another topic you want to discuss, you can have your closing statements.
I love numbers. I'm an accountant, hence why I'm the head of stats. yeah, give me suggestions. If you are also a very numbers person, join the stats team. Subscribe and join the stats team. I could always use the help. So, basically I have a lot of fun doing it. Like spreadsheets for some reason are a passion for me, but I love it. So
yeah, man, those numbers have become a huge part of the league right now. Without stats, we'd be missing a huge chunk of what our commentators do, a huge chunk of what our teams work off of. The All-Star game wouldn't be possible. Stats is massive for us. So one last time, if you want to help out our stats team, go into our description. There's a link to our Discord. Join it and just tell us, hey, I want to join Dragon Ball Z League stats team. Where can I help? And we'll direct you straight to this man right here, Ryan.
Exactly. And you can even ask Zem in the next section how nice of a boss I am.
Technically, we could ask Tosh right now.
Oh, Tosh, how nice of a boss am I?
I plead the fifth. I'm not self-incriminating myself. Who you are?
All right. In that case, you are free to go, my man, unless you have one last thing you want to tell the stream.
Viva la Soma.
Viva la Soma. All right. I say, sure. That works too. We can go straight into it since he's ready.
Oh.
It's fine. Hello. We're moving on to our next section right now. This is the testing team section, and we brought on this completely new person you've never met before, Sam, the testing head. Hello.
How are we doing?
Hey. So, why don't you give yourself a little rundown of what the testing team is and the people who help you out with it?
So, testing team during the off season as of now, we pretty much just test for every single team to get them nice and ready and prepared for the upcoming main season. Right, the more data, the better, and it really makes the teams as strong as consistent as they can possibly be. Test team is composed of a lot of awesome people who have been doing a ton of work. So besides me, we have Donut, Dorguard, we have our new member N3, and of course Coach Scuddy. So right now there's just the few of us, but we would love if you would like to join us and volunteer, as the more the merrier when it comes to testing. The more testers we have, the more tests get done, and then everybody wins because tests are for everybody.
Yeah. Our testing team, just like our stats team, has been sort of off the charts this last season and this off season. Last off season, I think you guys did over 1,000 tests in like 2.5 months. Something
over
crazy.
over 1,200 tests. We've been trying to work on the simplification of testing. We've gotten really easy. Me, for personally, it's kind of just something I can just kind of run in the background. So, I'm like, sometimes I'll be in the middle of work, be teaching a class, and I'll just do a couple of tests in the background because it's just that easy. So it doesn't take too much time and effort. And like I said, the more tests, the merrier. But yeah, over 1,200 the last off season. And I said I was going to do less tests this season.
That's
the
a
other
lie.
testers other testers have been stepping up. I haven't been doing as much. I haven't been going as crazy. And as of now, we have over 700 for this off season.
734.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just over a month. Well, actually, a bit more over a month, but over a month since every team has been able to start testing, and they're already at 700. There's at least another 3-ish months left in the season. Now, I'm not gonna
3,000 maybe if we go at this current rate.
I'm not gonna hold you to this pace. If you guys slow down, I don't think anyone's gonna complain. Getting 1,000 tests in a season's insane to begin with. So if you guys stay on this pace, goddamn, I think every team would be more than ecstatic.
Yeah, really looking forward to a great season next season because it seems like there's a correlation between how much testing and data you collect and how well you do in the next season. So I'm hoping that everybody tests a lot, take advantage of the fact that these testers are going crazy and giving a lot of tests, and we get a really great season of just really great matches, no blowouts at all, and everybody goes down. Every match goes to the last bar.
Yeah, I think a big part of our last season, the 2020 season, being such a success with a lot of teams actually being very competitive, a lot of the new teams in specific, is the fact that so many tests got put out. without that, I don't think those new teams would have had as much of a chance to be competitive. So a big help there. And if you want to help the testing team be a big help to the league and to watch a bunch of teams go at it, honestly, it can be kind of fun watching the test, at least for a little while. Join our Discord and look into becoming a tester. Now, for the testing team, because you are getting access to some more sensitive information regarding our ISO files and everything, we do have a restriction that we ask you participate within the league in another form for about a month beforehand. This is just to make sure that we can, we know you're dedicated to the league and we can sort of build some trust with you.
Yeah,
So-
we're giving you the keys to the kingdom, so you really don't. We need to know that we can trust you, because if you kind of just take our thing and run with it and run away, we would be very upset with that. So
Yeah, it's one of those things. We just want to build some trust with everybody who becomes a tester first. So join the league, join a team as a supporter, be active with them, or join the Tournament of Power. It's kind of locked at this point, but in future seasons you could do that. Or you can join the stats team, or the graphics team, or the website team, or the spreadsheets team, or the modding team. Any of those teams would be willing to work with you guys, and then build up a month worth of rep with them, and testing becomes an option. Or just stick around for a season on a team as a supporter, and that works too. So, how about we talk about that little thing we mentioned during the commentator section? Yeah, basically work with Mal for a month. That's the figure those sections Mal's running. But how about we talk about that testing showcase we sort of brought up before? You want to give a small rundown?
Yep. So testing showcase. One of the things that we changed for this season compared to last season, so many tests were done last off season for 2020. Lots of 4v4s were requested. That's a lot of mainstay data. So kind of trying to change it up a little bit. So now teams do 4v4 requests once per week, right? So everybody gets one every week. Test whatever you want to test each team. And with this kind of structure, it fits really well that we can just take one of those testing requests, put it as an actual match, kind of a 4v4, and then kind of commentate over it as if it's a real match, because I mean, technically it's a real match, give or take, what teams are trying out. So it'll be nice to, see additional 4v4 matches. They're abundant because, if every team tests, that's 16 different test videos technically that we can see from for entertaining commentary, and then get a little bit behind the scenes for teams, what they're planning, what they're trying out, what's their idea of get inside their brains for the upcoming season. And it'll be really interesting to see when we do these videos and then compare to the real season in a couple of months of how these teams differ, how the ideas differ, and what works and what doesn't work, because this league is very expensive, very technical. So really looking forward to seeing all the commentary of these wonderful 4v4s. There's a lot of good matches you're missing out if you haven't subscribed to the test channel and checked it out. If you're not subscribed, I don't blame you, because our testing team will spam you. But yeah, join the Discord, check out the test videos. Test requests are in on Thursday, like regular requests for the main season. And then my testing team is just so good. We usually get them all done by like Friday, maybe Saturday. So yeah, lots of 4v4s.
Yeah, the testing team goes real fast with them. Both of our heavy volunteer teams have been honestly really on point, which makes things a lot easier for us. So yeah, if you join them, you can be another part of that group to get everything up and running for a league. There really are like big parts of the league. These two groups in particular, the work they do kind of keep things going on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, and on the testing showcase thing, it's really this new system for 4v4s really does make it easy. We had considered doing showcases last off season, and there was just a lot of logistical issues because 4v4s happen all at random that time. This new system makes things much easier to fit in. We can actually schedule things ahead of time. It's looking very likely like we'll get showcases out for you guys. You get to see the teams, see what they're working on. Like Zem said, there'll be 4v4, so it'll be somewhat akin to real matches, but there'll be more testing focused, a lot more unique, new things being tried out. And you'll have the commentators giving you a bit of insight into finding out what each team is doing. Giving you a little insight like, hey, these are the builds they're using, this might be what they're looking to get out of it, things of that nature. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes, and it's really only possible because our testing team is working so hard. So yeah, that is the big thing.
I have a question for Zem. Do you run the tests at like 200 speed and then slow it down in post, or do you actually record it in 100 speed?
So I set it up when I set up the builds and the characters and the matches and get them all save stated. I run it at 300 times the speed, but then when it's time to record, it's back to just 100, regular speed, 60 frames, and then just record as normal.
Okay, because I didn't know if that would work, because I was running it at 400 speed and they were just moving at like light speed. I'm like, oh yeah, we could do this for tests, right? Like this is totally viable.
You can't even see what they're doing.
Yeah, it would be tough. Do not answer that question. No favoritism allowed.
My favorite tester is me.
Fair answer. That's a fair answer. Okay, yeah, let's answer some of the questions. If you guys got questions, start asking them now for our testing team, for the head of tester here, or anything relating to testing, future testing works. So the first one is, what type of testing do you hate the most? 3v3s, Eternal Life, something else?
The way that I do testing now, since I've got my setup really well set up, I just kind of do testing in the background, so it really doesn't bug me, the type of test. Really just the tests that require the least amount of effort on my part. 3v3s aren't bad. We actually, one of the things that we changed since, 4v4s are once a week, we introduced 3v3s. They were only one round because we thought like, okay, it's, it's kind of like a 4v4, but then no one was really doing it. As soon as someone did their first 3v3, we were like, it's not too difficult to do. The videos are kind of short, and then all the testers agreed to up it to 2 rounds instead of 1. Now lots of teams are doing 3v3s. It's fairly entertaining to watch because it's sort of like a 4v4, 2 rounds, and so 3v3s aren't bad. Eternal Life versus Eternal Life, it's like I said, it's whatever. I don't really pay attention to tests. The team that I'm on, which is funny because a lot of the testers are on Bujins. Our tests are actually one of the worst type of tests, but you can't really complain because we're kind of doing it to ourselves. So yeah. Our Bujin tests run actually kind of fairly long, just the way that they're ran, and we're taking advantage of that system. So like I said, if we're not going to be hypocrites and be like, oh, these tests suck, when we're doing tests that are worse. So we just run in the background and just do other things, watch YouTube videos, do homework, and that's why I can easily do a whole bunch of tests, because it's just in the background. I'm really got to pay attention.
Yeah, it's one of the benefits of doing tests. There's a few things to it. There is some setup time that you got to dedicate. Setting up the build, setting up your OBS, things of that nature. But once you get it up, you can literally just run the tests and do something else. Enjoy your time while the test is going, especially if you're doing a longer test. You can do a 4v4, that's like a good 10 minutes where you can just watch a video while it's going. It's not a ton of work while it's happening. So honestly, one of the things, if you are looking to help in a way, and you feel like, hey, that doesn't sound too bad. I don't think it sounds too bad either. Feel free to join us and help Zem and his team out here.
Yeah, there's no bias. So we just go at the order that requests. So you don't have to worry about teams getting more than others. Except for now with the order of the previous offseason, with teams who dropped out or didn't make it to the playoffs. They definitely have more tests than teams who made it to the end, right? I believe as of right now, Derp has over 70 test videos, while teams like Red Rocks are still in their 20s. So that's just the speed of the testing and the difference in the weeks.
Yep, and it makes sense to some degree. You get farther in the playoffs, you probably need less help. So it's one of those things that kind of works itself out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a ton of questions, but but yeah, it's one of those things where testing is one of the more straightforward parts of the league, and it helps a ton, honestly. Like, without it, the league would be a lot more hollow. Like, the main season is built off of testing. Like, for anybody who isn't super invested into the ins and outs of the league, for the 15 matches of the main season, and then the however many matches we have in the playoffs, those are like a drop in the bucket in comparison to the amount of tests that each team does. Those tests are all preparation, and there's a lot more of them that there all will be matches. So it makes a big deal to get this many out. And as Snuffy said, Derp has like 60 more tests than they did last off season too. So that makes a difference for them. Hopefully that'll help them improve quite a bit.
Looking forward to it. Consistency is key, and the more data you have, the better you do.
Absolutely. But anybody else have any questions?
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, I know you said that most of the times you run it in the background, but out of the tests that you have probably maybe paid some attention to, are there any teams that have caught your eye in terms of what they're doing so far in testing that you feel will benefit them a lot in the main season coming up?
Lots of teams are doing very interesting things. There's been plenty of tests versus Mid Vegeta. Mid Vegeta was the baseline TN as well. I'm really liking what Suntai's doing with Captain Ginyu. He's looking really awesome for such a simplistic build, so that frees up the rest of the team to do what they need to do with him doing so well in such a simplistic build. Androids are doing really well with that 17's hitting hard. Right, I could say a whole bunch of teams, but it's really looking like it's going to shake out to be a really good season, especially with all these trades and pickups and free agents. Season 2021 is going to be a completely different season than 2020, so really looking forward to seeing how it shakes out.
Yeah, the tests really give you guys a big indicator of how things are gonna look the coming season, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because teams like Royals have two completely new characters. One of them permanent, one of them only temporary for the season, but a major character switch. And Baby, I can't imagine what their tests look like now in comparison to what they looked like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they just did the test where they put Eternal Life on Baby, and he went ape and went elite almost. So,
oh my god!
Yeah, one of their 4v4s. So. Yeah, it's going to be a really crazy season if they can keep that up.
Because they're in my division. Don't like that.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things that I don't think we went into too much that I want to elaborate on for some of the people who don't keep up, some of just more of the casual viewers of the league, is the testing team has made a lot of changes to speed stuff up, but a lot of that is it's fairly simplistic, but also somewhat systematic changes. We've gone away from best of and gone straight to guaranteed matches.
Yes, and through that is really what allows tests to be speed up and allows more tests to be done, because now you don't have to really pay attention and be like, wait, who won round 1 or 2, or I don't remember 3. Now it's just you just count. If, you know what kind of test it is. All right, if it's 3v3s 2 rounds, all right, run a 3v3, run it again. All right, that's the end of the video. Moving on. So and simplicity, it really works.
The other thing is that I personally noticed is you guys don't seem to get any errors, or nowhere near as many errors with your tests as you used to.
Yeah. There's still some times where we slip up, and of course we try to correct it as soon as possible. Yeah, that's another thing that we did change from previous testing is, if there was a mistake, then the teams couldn't post their next request until the previous request. We were we messed up, that's on us. Post your next request, and then we'll fix it and get you your corrected test video. And of course, that's just more data for you. So
yeah, there's been actually a few upgrades to testing. I think the 3v3 inclusion I think is big, and it's already shown a lot of use, which is awesome. Because 3v3s just weren't a thing in the past. And then you get, I remember talking with you guys, the entire testing team last off season, about 4v4s and how much you guys want unlimited, and you guys agreed, we don't really want teams to abuse it. Then it's a lot of work, and then you guys freaking spammed them out anyway. And on this off
requests, but
and this off season, it's a guaranteed 1 a week, which is, I think, really nice way to control it. And teams get a ton out of that too. So
yeah, because really the old way, while it's nice that everybody could do the 4v4 as much as you want, since 4v4s are the real setting of the matches, just doing more 4v4s than any other team gives you more real data, and that kind of gives you an unfair advantage when it comes to facing in the real league. So by making it so everybody gets one per week, it lessens that unfairness or that unbiased, and makes it a little bit more fair and fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm just glad at how everything's been working out. With all the work we've been doing on the back end, the staff, it's really none of it's possible for us to like focus on all this stuff without you guys like carrying so much weight on your end. Because the two main heads of departments are you and Ryan. A lot of other departments, I think, are all either staff run or sort of democratic in nature. That could be, well, aside from CapsuleCast. CapsuleCast is actually a fan-made thing, which is fun for its own reason entirely. But yeah, the rest is either staff like controlled or democratic in nature. But testing and stats are the only ones that have dedicated heads, and the main reason for that is because you guys have the biggest groups underneath you, so it'd be very hard to run them democratically. But it's also because you and Ryan in specific, you guys had reputations as really active either stats members. Ryan, I think, was the previous head of stats, so we just brought him over. But you were very active as a testing member before, so we just felt like, oh yeah, he was the most active.
Yeah, way back in the old league, so just do it again.
Yeah, so like that's helped immensely. A lot of the old league members are the ones who stayed around through everything. Were usually the ones who were the most active, who were the biggest invested in everything. So it's just ended up working out that we have such passionate members all around. That's from the heads to you and from you and Ryan, all the way down to the individuals of each group, like Donut and Minecraft Steve and Dorgard and everyone else in all the groups. I'm not. There's like 12 names, so I'm not going to name them all off. But yeah, and we'll get to some of the other groups later on too. But yeah, no, like that's been a big part of making everything work, because we don't have to focus on it staff as much because of it.
Yeah. Staff has their own testing to do.
As we do. Mal, do you want to like explain how much like gauntlet testing you did?
Yeah.
Oh, is he
I
back?
think he's gone
he's
right now.
good.
I think he's at B right
Oh,
now.
he's gone. Okay, I thought he was
But
gonna like dip out. Of
I
the
will
call.
say, if you are
Oh,
a
he's back.
tester and you're doing mass testing, invest in a turbo controller, because I run the game at 400% speed, hit my turbo controller to spam like fight again, and I leave and I go eat and I do whatever I want.
That is I think you could set macros on your computer for that sort of thing, right?
Probably.
Probably good. Yeah.
I can imagine you can like set up a script at least.
I heard something about Gauntlet.
I was asking,
Yeah.
do you want to explain how many gauntlet tests you did, since Zem brought up that we're doing our own testing?
Oh, I personally did have just between Gauntlet testing. Like I personally have probably run about 500 tests since November.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, no, those are completely different types of tests. We don't actually have a lot of the same restrictions that the testing team does in terms of looking at posts and changing the builds every time. We do have to do some of that, but we don't have to upload the videos. They're actually doing a lot more rigorous work than we are in terms of the individual tests.
It's not work. We love what we do. It's a hobby, just like this whole league.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to start paying us, I mean,
How am I gonna pay you when I'm working for free too?
maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Maybe
Keep
one day.
supporting the league.
But for now, this league is a community-driven, community-run league in like the most literal sense of the word. So yeah.
Tell your friends, tell your family. Get this, Dragon Ball Z League. 10 million subscribers.
Absolutely. Yeah, unless anybody else has any more questions, let's give them like a few minutes. Or if any of the staff here has a question for you. No? Then we can move on to your closing statements. I guess you could sort of say them now while people are maybe giving questions. I'm assuming we're out of them though.
Sure. So, I'm not sure if we're allowed to say anything about the most recent announcements when it comes to the new staff or nominations or anything like that. I'm not sure if it was on the table or not.
I mean, we're looking at new staff. That's all we can say.
Right. So, if you're
let's
not
just
part
leave
of
it there.
Discord, join the Discord. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, just to continue to support me and everything that I do, whether it be testing or commentary or anything. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. I never thought that I would be so involved with this league, especially with how uninvolved I was in the previous version of the league. So I'm just working my way up, and thank you for all the support.
No, we appreciate all the time that you put in with how many tests you've been doing. I still you can't be lying like that. I'm not going to do as many tests and everything, and then all of a sudden still do, I don't know how many you hit so far.
Next offseason, I'm gonna make a bet with you. You're gonna make some money off this.
I mean, it's not going to be that one night where I did like 30 tests until sunrise. That's not going to happen again.
No think? All right. Bet. All right. Yeah, that's it. We'll see you later then, and we'll grab our next volunteers in soon.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks, man. All right. Let's take a small 5-minute break since we are running very early. About 50 minutes, not too crazy, but let's take a 5-minute break. And while we are waiting, if anybody in the stream wants to ask any more questions, or even in the Discord, drop them in the stream, drop them in the Discord DragonCast question chat, and we will try to answer them during this small break. This could be any sort of staff-related question, anything you think we can answer or you want us to answer. And I will be right back. Apologies.
Whew, I hope everybody's been enjoying the chill beats. I literally am playing a YouTube video in the background.
Oh, you are?
I have the lo-fi hip-hop radio beats to study / relax to by Chilled Cow, the GOAT.
That works.
I've been munching on some food because I didn't get to eat breakfast before the stream, so hopefully you guys haven't been hearing that, but I've tried to be quiet, but I can only do so much.
I see in Discord, Bleak joking about having 19 Android banner, and Donut's just like, haha, no.
Huh.
Zero can go back to the curb with his will not work. Will not work for anything sign.
Yeah, this is gonna relate to the next section, but there was something in the general chat where Andy was asking about banners and stuff. If you guys have a request for a banner, go ahead and just request it. I guess ping the graphics team. I don't know an easy way to get a hold of us, but we're gonna make banners for you one way or another. But if you have specific design suggestions that you want us to follow, let us know, because otherwise we just kind of go with whatever we can think of in the moment. So I know some people have some ideas, maybe even assets.
Mm-hmm. All right. No questions, I'm assuming?
Nope, I haven't seen anything.
All right.
I think we're ready to move on.
Yeah, let me go grab the group then.
Oh man, who's the next group gonna be? Who's the next? Oh, I popped it up. There you go. Mal, you are typing in DBZ League General. I don't know if you know that, but making sure you know. No, clearly not.
Wait, what?
God. You had to be on the Discord to see it. You had to be there.
Nothing happened, Tosh. Nothing happened.
Man,
Alright.
I really wish
Are we
we had
good
a
to
bot
drag him in?
Drag him in.
All right.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, you have been
Hello.
dragged into the chat.
Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
everyone. Hi, Snuffy. Hi, Gomo.
Hey, guys, we're on to our next section. We're bringing in the graphics team.
Yay!
How about you guys all introduce yourselves? Starting at the top.
All right. I'm Snuffy. I've most of the drawings are mine. All the team logos are mine. Yeah, that's my thing.
And I'm Golem Jack. I did most of the pretty much the versus screens, the division brackets, the thumbnails, the losers thumbnails, a lot of the other stuff you see during the streams and things like that. Save for like the banners and things. Usually I'll get the assets from Snuffy or Jay, and I'll usually put them together depending on what we're working on. But that's kind of what I've done.
Mm-hmm. And our last,
I guess me.
Yeah, Jay's also there.
Technically, I'm also there. I do mostly I do some of the banners, the elite badges, and then pretty much any meme that we want to do. That's kind of my area of expertise.
Yeah, you're also doing our DragonCast
Oh yeah.
thumbnails.
Yeah, the Capsule Cast
And
thumbnails,
Capsule
the,
Cast, yeah.
stream thumbnails.
Capsule Cast and DragonCast.
Yeah. A whole changing the number of episode it is.
No, that's a lot of hard work, man. I know exactly how much hard work it is. But yeah, this is our graphics team. There was also Buzz who helped do a ton of the banners for the team for the 2020 season. So shout out to him for that. And outside of that, I don't think we had anybody else do graphics. I think I did like 2 thumbnails in like the early off season. That was about it.
You gave
My
your
girlfriend drew
critiques
that one
and
picture.
Suggestions.
Yeah, I apologize for being harsh or nitpicky. And that's about it. That's all I will apologize for.
and I mean, the credit to other people who have sent in graphics that we used.
True.
Edo did the
GT
GT
banner.
banner, I believe.
Mhm.
Technically, I wasn't on the graphics team when I did the cinema banner, but now I am. So.
Yeah. Also, I think Jay's girl did
Yeah.
the Sweeper Games one.
Yeah.
The Sweeper
Yeah,
Game
that
one.
was good.
Yeah. I might
So we had a
get
whole
her to
bunch
do
of-
more. I don't know.
We're gonna commission out Jay's girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay her a whole nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, we've had the graphics team is a bit more of a loose group in comparison to the previous groups we've had. If you have any graphic skills, if you meet the sort of standard we're looking for, we bring you in and you can work with us. We ask that you work with us throughout the entire season. The graphics team does get a little bit of advantage in terms of knowing events ahead of time or specific information ahead of time, because the guy who did the graphics they get that information.
Because like
Just
when
make
you
this
announce
random
the
graphic.
all-star lineup, then
Yeah.
it announces with a graphic on the screen, and someone's got to do that. But
Yeah.
You split up the
So-
work so
Not
nobody
really.
knows the whole event. It's just like you do this one piece of the banner, you do one piece of the banner.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be horrible. But yeah, that's the main little thing that the graphics team does. That honestly, it's a lot of graphics that gets done. I don't know how well it's represented throughout all the streams, but every little piece of like nice looking
Everything other
material,
than the game.
yeah, is the graphics team's work. In the streams, in the videos, if you see something that's not the game, that's the graphics team that did it, that made it. They made it look nice. Like Snuffy said, she did a lot of like the actual drawing stuff, the all-star rankings. When we got those out, that was her. And I believe you did our MVP and LVP stuff, some Goldo
yeah.
pictures for that too, which was awesome.
Drill Sergeant Goldo. is my
Yeah.
proudest work, I think.
That is going to become a staple. And then Gomel did like every divisional thing we had, the versus screens, which I still love, because that makes our like start a match look a lot better than I had anticipated.
At least your workload is easier than Naruto League, where you had to do every single build every week.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine having to do that. Why?
And then
Yeah,
I
I
would
remember
edit
having
it
to
in.
spend like I think 4 hours the day of just to get all the assets ready for that stream that day. So it was a lot.
Wow. See, we got seasoned people here. They know they've had this work before. They know what they're doing. Because Gomo did it for the N League. I think Jay, you did
Yes.
it for N League too.
I
And
edited it, but yeah.
You edited.
And I mean-
and stuff you
I
do
mean,
it for
I do-
Smash.
Yeah, I mean, I do all the graphics for Smash. Yeah,
Yeah.
But
So
we go with a minimalist aesthetic there.
yeah, a little bit more toned down than us. You gotta be loud.
It was basically just me yelling at Gomo like, "Hey, where are my assets, dude? Like, come on, I'm waiting."
I still wake up at night screaming sometimes from the terror that happened. Then.
In a
Chocolate
cold
plus two.
sweat and everything.
I got him. Give me an hour. Oh boy. Well, yeah. That's the basic gist of our graphics team. There's just these three so far. One of them being our staff member, but we're always looking for more graphics people. As long as you can demonstrate some sort of unique graphical ability that you can exhibit, make some sort of graphic, be it banners or thumbnails or whatnot. As long as you can help us throughout the season, we're all up for getting your assistance on that. And expanding our graphics team means we can make the matches, the videos, the streams look all that much better, and we can get all our events to have prettier and nicer graphics and potentially do more special things for like special occasions. It's all production quality stuff, and it's a big part of making the league more appealing and drawing more attention. So like you're kind of at the forefront of that when you're our graphics team here.
And
Well,
I would
yeah,
say you don't need to have like Photoshop to do this. You can download GIMP. That's a free program, and there's even a website called photopia.com. I use that sometimes, and it's free. You just go online, and it's basically like a free Photoshop online. So you can do graphics if you really want to. Like, there are programs out there that you can use that isn't Photoshop.
Mm-hmm. Now we had you guys.
Some graphics have been done in a PowerPoint even at some points.
I've seen some
Yeah.
graphics done in Microsoft Word, and that's not a joke.
Man, people are crazy. But yeah, I've had you guys do a lot of work during the main season. I think during the events, like the All Stars in specific, I would like really push all of you to get a lot done during those. So I appreciate you putting the effort. But you guys have gotten a bit of time to relax as of recently, like with our stats team. And
Well, I mean, there's going to be the Tournament of Power soon.
Yeah,
Those are
that's
be
gonna end.
something.
yeah, I was gonna say that's about to end.
16 new teams. Some of them already started working on their own banners, but yes.
It's more like Tournament of Punishment. That's what this is going to be.
I
It'll
see
be
you're
fun.
ecstatic about it.
Lots of weird combinations that we don't normally see. So, and lots of weird team names that we can think of.
Yeah,
graphics for.
it's gonna be unique for sure. Yeah, how you guys looking forward to crafting stuff for that for the Tournament of Power?
I think it's going to be fun. I think I haven't looked into all of the teams, but I think just coming up with just sort of interesting banners for each of the teams we'll be seeing will be fun, and just sort of also the weekly stuff that will also need to be there. Brackets, I believe the rules are slightly different for that, so we'll need slightly different screens.
Yeah, the Tournament of Power is, I think, Swiss or like round robin at the start, and then a regular bracket system afterwards, based off of the seedings you get from the round robins. So that's gonna be very unique and very interesting. And you guys are gonna have some new things to create that you've never had to make before for, I guess, any of the leagues. I gotta imagine.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Smash League has a bracket after the main season, so does this kind of. But
yeah, but we don't have like round robins or.
Well, I mean, it is a round robin.
Round robin? What is?
Yeah, the whole season.
Is it? Does that count as a
Yeah,
round robin?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
I'm
it is,
thinking
every
like group
12.
round robins, like you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I guess
That-
it is
that we
one
don't have.
giant round robin. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, every team plays each other at some point.
My bad. I'm thinking like my head's in the esports realm that I've handled, where it's like, oh, okay, there's group A, B, C, and D, and each has 4 teams, and they round robin. And then
Yeah.
you get seedings out of that, but yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I've
So
already
we
made
do
my
have
banner for
one-
my team.
Oh yeah. We do have one question for each of you guys. What was your favorite graphics that you've done for the league so far?
Alright, so far I would say my favorite graphics thing is Drill Sergeant Goldo, for sure.
That's a good one.
But I mean, my favorite graphics thing that I've done is something that isn't released yet. It's something that I've been working on in the background. I mean, it's the one team with the roster that I probably know going into next season. if
Right.
that ends. So,
Oh,
I'm
yes.
working on something for
I've
that team.
taken some peeks at your work.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be real nice.
Nah, thank you. So,
I thought you were going to include your the banner you made this last season for cinema is one of the things you've enjoyed as well, because you got pretty creative with that.
yeah, that was fun. I think the next season banner for cinema is going to blow it out of the water, though.
Oh really?
Upgrades,
Potentially.
people, upgrades.
But yes, yeah. Gomo?
Well, for me, it would probably be hands down the versus screen. It took some time to work together, especially with some of the different animation that I had to kind of fit in there and some alterations I had to do. But a lot of that work was done before the season started, and usually before season start, that's usually when I find the most work is put in, because you're basically laying the foundation for everything else.
Yeah.
Once you get everything laid out, it's more of a matter of putting new assets in, moving things around, getting things switched up, which does take time, but it's nowhere near as taxing as building a new asset, getting everything ready for it, and making it last throughout the season, because you're trying to make your load a little easier for yourself with everything else you have to do. So, but the versus screen for me was one of the things I enjoyed the most.
That was a fair point. I thought that was awesome. Honestly, just
Yeah, the versus screen animation is incredible.
big upgrade. Big upgrade.
Versus just putting 2 banners on a black background.
Yeah,
Here's
well, initially we were gonna have that or nothing, so yeah, huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, it just reminded me of back when in TGN with the DBZ League, they had some of those animated opening intros, and
yeah.
I remember it showcasing the banners, and I always liked that. And then when that kind of stopped, because people put a lot of work in their banners and they want it shown, and if you have your team on there, you want to see it, and it's something to look at as opposed to just the character select screen talking about the match and then you start it. Here you at least got some build up with the banners and the animation, and so that's what I really liked, and that's kind of what I did with Naruto League back in the day, because I felt that also I like that same kind of polish. I liked that detail, and that was the mindset going into this league, because it's a kind of a reboot in a sense, so I wanted to kind of give it that polish and try to at least leave a good first impression.
Absolutely.
I think you accomplished that with the versus screen for sure.
Honestly, since it is a reboot, there is a lot of stuff we can do and change around with our graphics, with how we thematically set up our league, I guess, from a visual perspective. Even going into the next season, we can make quite a few changes. Is there anything in particular you guys are interested in messing around with?
I think the way the league looks now is very good. I'm not sure if there's that many improvements on just sort of the general aesthetic.
What I wouldn't mind doing, and this is kind of a combination of the theory editing team and the theory graphics team, is to do something similar where we have an intro, but it's not maybe of all the characters, but maybe just one select character or a banner that plays at the beginning of the episode, so right when you start the episode, you know who's in it.
Yeah, that is something that we wanted to do this season that we missed out on. The old TGN days had that too, where there's just sort of a video just sort of an MP4 that played at the beginning of each episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a bit more concise because I was actually going to bring that up because I know Jay and Gomo probably remember Naruto League. What is it? The first season, the intro video where it was like a couple of seconds of each ultimate or certain scenes of every team represented. And I was like, maybe we could do something like that. If I don't not do that, so I don't know where to start. So.
And I think the video actually those had the teams that were first in those matches. I think if it was like 4 teams per video, it would kind of introduce the teams that were kind of participating in that video. I think that's how Jay had done it, and I thought that was really nice. I like that, and honestly, something could be done. And even if we used clips from the game, it could be even highlighting maybe even like points that just we thought were amazing in the seasons past, or any moments of just awesomeness, and you want to just have those as the music's playing as it's going, and then you got the lead kind of thing. So that could also be using those images or a video to include in an opening.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think that'd be a huge upgrade.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a question from chat, and I'm going to actually expand on it too. They're asking, Fat Happy 3 is asking, are there any teams where it's been really hard to make their banner for whatever reason? And I'm going to expand it to, are there any graphics in general?
So, since I did quite a few banners, by the way, my favorite banner that I absolutely did was Muscles, because I got to keep the meme that I made in there. Ryan was okay with it. BoJack. BoJack Horseman. Ryan was cool with it, so I was like, cool, we're keeping it in. And then I also my personal favorite is Kaiju, but the hardest one that I made was probably Derp, because it's conflicting, because you want to make the banner look cool because you want to respect the team, but Derp is not supposed to be a cool team. Derp is supposed to be a derp team, and so it's very hard for me to find the right images that looked derpy, 2 some sort of background. I don't know, I just kind of threw it together, but that one was really hard for me personally.
I think Derp's banner turned out really well, especially with the slapping.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if you look, if you look at the banner, there's centered around Hercule. There's I believe Salsa and Supreme Kai.
Yeah, I just got lucky with those graphics.
But they just look like they're about to slap Hercule on the back of the head, and it just absolutely works. It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. What about you, Snuffy, and Gomo? Are there any graphics in specific that you guys found just a pain or more difficult than expected to create?
The All-Star rankings reveal.
I wonder why.
It was 10 characters drawn in sort of a day about, and I made that. Okay, so I made the decision to sort of make it a scene where they were all interacting.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of had to find reference for everyone where they're all sort of interacting like that.
Yeah, let me just point out, no one asked Snuffy to go all out with this. No one asked Snuffy to even draw the characters. She just did it. I appreciate it, but man.
It was interesting, but it was a lot. It was a lot to do in a day.
Yeah.
When you're trying to make those characters all fit in, like they're together, interacting with each other, when normally the references may not even be of them doing that. So taking some of that creative liberty, I think I can imagine that being difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when there's especially when some of the characters who are in there only have a couple canon shots of them. Say Woman is only in a couple scenes.
Yeah, that's rough. I did really enjoy it though, especially with I think it was Rayleigh scaring off every other character.
Scaring off Bardock and Nova and stuff.
Yeah. That was great. What about you, Gon? Was there any particular one that was a headache or more work than expected?
Probably the division screens, the standing screens, because trying to find the right layout to kind of make it look aesthetically pleasing while making it, kind of stand out, and where to place things, and like where you want to put the different assets, how you want to display the characters that you're showing, where the emblems would kind of go, or even when I did it, I didn't even think about that there would be even emblems on there until Snuffy had made them, and I was like, hey, these would look good on the standings, so putting them on there, and then even just the overall standings, how to make it so you can display it when you guys are going over all the divisions. That took a bit longer than I thought, just because it went from something more of like just putting a few assets, and all of a sudden just really just getting more into detail about kind of where I want to put things, and even alternating background images. Like, I don't even know if anyone even noticed it at all, but like during every other week, the background image I would alternate.
Yeah.
And I had a set amount of ones that I alternated per week per each division, and I so basically that way I made it so that it just wouldn't look the same all the time, and just finding the right images to utilize for that and picking the right stuff. That definitely took a bit more time. Honestly, I'd say it took a bit longer than the versus screen did. Even though there was no animating involved, it took longer just to get everything ready.
I gotta say, those in specific were a huge success. They were like, I remember asking you, hey, could you create like a divisional screens for us? I'm like, hey, I thought I could work something out.
Up, yeah.
Yeah, and then like, oh, well, okay, all right, that's sure. Like, damn. And then like adding the logos. I actually want to include other logos in more parts of the league if we can, just to make them more staples of each team if possible. And of course, we can rework them in the future if we feel like there's ways to improve them. But I'd like most of them, or basically all of them, right now as they are.
I mean, even professional teams always change their banners or their emblems sometimes based on like time and history. So I think they've had a season 1 of being established and being more recognized, symbolizing that team. So I think going forward, if there's small adjustments, that could be fine. But I definitely would like to, like you said, include them more in display.
Yeah. If we can find more ways to include them in the future in other graphics and other parts of the league, that I'm gonna try and work something out for that. But yeah, the divisional standings were a huge. There'd been, I think, like a season or two where we didn't have divisional standings in the old league. So I just wanted something else.
One.
Yeah, it was just one then. So I just wanted divisional standings back. But like these are on par, or honestly, I think better than what the old league had at even at tied. They're really classy, especially with like the ever-changing backgrounds. So I was really impressed with that, and it makes sense that it took so much work.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It definitely did, and that was kind of the idea, just having a sleek presentation and kind of look at, make it look nice and professional in the sense that what we're trying to display with the league.
Yeah, and it is a really good way to start off each stream with showing something like this off. Gives a much more professional feel. There is actually something, this isn't a question that was asked now, but it was during the commentator piece, I believe. Or no, during the staff piece. Somebody asked about putting the character next to each individual Kai standing, be a character from the top team. Since you're the one usually handling it, I'll actually toss that to you if you have a preference for which character you place next to each Kai, but the person was asking, could it be somebody who's at the top of the division at the time?
I had thought about that, but then the thought for me was equal representation, and certain teams may remain at the top for a while. Like when you had the Bujins, you had Namek for a while. That'd have been like Namek throughout the whole time, which it's cool when you're that team. But if you're a team like Derp, or you're like the Saiyans, or you're or Kaiju, and you're kind of like not always up there. I kind of opted for basically the first screen I did for the standings. I basically just kind of went top to bottom, and then I kept those in mind. Even so, basically, like if it was like Bujins, Namek,
Hybrid ZD.
Hybrid ZD, thank you. I looked at them so much, I just can't remember now. Yeah, so like basically, if it was Bujins first, then next would be hybrids, for example, and then ED, and then so on and so forth. And that's kind of the order I would go to. So even if the standings changed over the course of those 4 weeks, I would still then come back to Bujins again after the 4 weeks have gone by. And that was kind of the idea. But picking a different character from the team to display for that team. And since there was 5 characters, typically you can at least get through at least 4 or 5 rotations before the season ends, and you can get equal representation that way. That was my idea. Now, I mean, that could change if we have more of a unanimous kind of like preference. People would prefer that.
Yeah.
I could do that, but then I feel certain teams may not
Like-
get that representation.
Like here's the thing. If like it was a top the top character from the division, and that was the rule, from like if that was the deciding factor, then from in the 2020 season, from like weeks like 2, 3 all the way through the end of the season, North Kai's would not have changed. It would have been Majin and Vegeta the entire time.
Would have been easier for Gomo, so
True, Gomo, let's work for you. Why are you arguing against it?
yeah.
No, but I think I agree with you on the most part. I think equal representation is probably appreciated a lot by the other teams.
It would have been funny if it was a different picture of Majin Vegeta every week. But that would have been extremely difficult.
Maybe going from actual like artwork from the series to like hand-drawn stuff, just as a
we're gonna go into some OC work.
OC creation, yeah.
This is my character. He's the child of Trunks and Videl. Like, I think that was the true pairing. Some random ass pairing. There's a question, and I can answer this one. What's your thought process on the characters on the thumbnails? Pick a name out of the hat.
Yeah, usually it's like if there's a really good performance from a character that I hadn't included yet, represented, then usually I would choose them. If I had them on the standing screen, usually I would not pick them for the thumbnail, just because they're already represented there. I would try to balance it. Sometimes that works, sometimes it didn't all the time, but for the most part, I try to pick some highlight of a character that maybe had a good performance, or a performance that's more not as good one, but something that stands out for the episode. That was usually what I would go with.
Yeah,
or if they had an elite performance, there were sometimes where there was an elite performance, but I used the character already for the standings, and I was like, oh crap, because of course I make the standings before the thumbnails, so at that point it's like, well crap, so I don't want to put them again, so.
Wait, so you're saying that you guessed some elite performances? Because you make the standings before the week, right?
That's true. Yeah, probably. I mean, probably.
Yeah, that would happen eventually anyway.
Statistically.
Even if you just pick random characters out of a hat for the standing, you'd eventually pick some elites.
The only way that wouldn't happen is if we didn't have any elites all season.
Yeah, which maybe, but with the backgrounds, you also get a stage that appears in the week. Right, you get one of the maps.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you just like find a site that had all of them?
Yeah, well, I tried to, but sometimes they didn't have like a good image, so I tried to find ones that had something that represented the area as close as possible. For Kaiju, I had to actually kind of like darken the image and kind of add more of like a sky to it, because there was no night version of that map I could find. So I had to try to do that to make it at least look darker, to kind of influence that. But yeah, it's a good eye, Snuffy. I alternated those as well.
I just enjoyed the thumbnails overall. I'm pretty sure Gomu could probably just say that every weekend it's just like, let's work on a thumbnail. I like the characters that you chose it, or I think G will be like, hey, get can we get a Halloween theme or a Christmas theme or something like that? And Gomu's just like, I got you.
I love those. Those were awesome.
The Goldo thumbnail.
Those were so dumb. I love them.
But yeah, I just found the most derpy picture of Goldo, or the most somewhat menacing ones, and just like filtered the crap out of them. And just
like every episode, he got closer to the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
Drill Sergeant Goldo getting in your face. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh man. Not a question by the chat, but it is something that I think the commentators brought up to me before. Is actually not really a question, more so a thing that I'm going to ask you guys to work on soon. Very simple. Get like a basic graphic to have the commentators, the streamer, just sort of sit on when there's nothing happening.
That could be something. Because whenever there's technical difficulties, they go to like the standings screen. So it could be.
That reminds me, I did something like that for Naruto League testing. If coach remembers, I said we'll be back shortly, or something.
Yeah. And it was like what the 8-bit characters like running or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much on the screen animated.
That could be something.
Yeah, having something like that,
Mhm.
something because they also wanted it mainly for starting off streams. They don't want to start off on the divisional standings. They want to start off on something blank, something that doesn't give
A loading
anything
screen
away.
of some kind. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that'd be nice for people to look at.
I can see what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no rush. We got time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tournament of Power is going to have streams too.
True. Though we'd probably need slightly unique. I guess you could technically use the same type depending on how you make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll work all of that out soon enough because they're coming up. But yeah, I think we're out of questions. Yeah, I think we're out of questions for you guys from there. Unless the rest of any of the staff members here have any questions for you. Yes, no, maybe so.
Not
Nope.
really.
All right, then I think we're at the end of this. It's been about 30 minutes. So if you guys have any last statements, closing statements, anything you want to shout out, talk about, feel free. It's up to you. Tosh is dead.
Tosh has vanished, seemingly.
I'll start making the images for his missing poster.
Thank you. It was very much appreciated.
Perfect.
Just wait 10 minutes. He'll show back up.
Yeah.
They got tired of dealing with him apparently. They just bring him back. Now we can't deal with this.
The benefits of the graphics team.
It's fine. We're
But
the,
no,
we're the least like, I don't know. We're very chill in the graphics chat. Like we're all just like, all right, cool. Who wants to work on this? All right.
There's a bunch of artists, man. That's fine.
I mean, it's not like stats or like whatever where it's like, okay, we've got to set up this whole thing. The leak, we've got to like go into this thing. Oh, we've got to double check for this elite status or whatever. Like there's the editing the numbers for the things. There's the thumbnails and the stuff Gomel does every week for the splash screens versus screens. But for the most part, it's a lot of bulk stuff. So
Yeah.
it all sort of happens at once. Yes.
I want to say this. If anybody's interested in joining the graphics team, honestly, a really great way to help if you like being creative in any sort of artistic fashion. You get a lot of freedom for the most part. Outside of my initial nitpicking on thumbnails, kind of everything that we've had has been whatever Gomo, Jay, and Snuffy have come up with, because they're just good. So you come in, you have ideas for how you want the league graphics to look. We're usually pretty chill with them. So yeah, if you want to help them out, join.
And if you're not sure,
so
I
come
mean,
on
there
down,
were there were some things I posted there before. I was like, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? And I would get some insight into it, and I was okay. I'll work on this. If you're in with us, don't take anything personally in terms of like, if there's something that someone mentions to you about like, hey, can you make some adjustments here? That's fine. And usually it ends up better than what you had thought it would be. If you're looking for some experience, and you can kind of be on somewhat of a schedule in terms of like, just getting the stuff to them when needed without really them having to like say, hey, make sure you get this done, all the time. Just depend on them. Basically, dependability is what we're looking for. So if you have that, get some practice, and you want to work with us, the more people, the better, because the bigger the league gets, the more people we'll need to help us.
Yeah, and the more people we have, the bigger we can get too.
And the better quality things we can create as well, because then the bigger team, better quality.
Yeah. You got to put a stamp on the league with graphics. Let's just put it that way. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, if nothing more, then you guys can say your goodbyes, any shout outs you want, whatever you'd like.
No, I don't have anything else. So
You
bye
shout out-
everyone.
You can shout out Smash League if you want.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, that's a
you
thing.
can- I mean, watch Smash League, I suppose.
Yeah, the Sister League, we have a
That's
channel
fine.
link to it in our YouTube channel, so go check them out.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, thanks for having me, and I appreciate everyone's support for the league. Everyone that participates just gives me the motivation to kind of keep creating and doing what I've been doing for everybody.
Yeah, and we appreciate all you guys, genuinely.
Mhm.
So, that's it. Thank Thank you for being here, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
everyone.
Later.
Bye.
Thanks again.
I don't have to
Alright.
be here, right? Because that was my last division, right?
Yeah, you can leave. We don't need a streamer.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I guess unless anybody wants to take a pause, we can move on.
I'm good.
I'm good to go.
All right.
Good.
We're
to
almost
drag
back
them.
on schedule, aren't we?
Yeah,
pretty
we're
much.
about 5 minutes off. That took a little longer, but that's good. So
You want me to go ahead and drag them in?
yeah, let's drag in the capsule cast.
Woohoo.
Yo.
Hola,
Oh.
señor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Capsule Cast, DragonCast edition.
Wait, I guess we should all leave then. See you guys.
Yeah, it's good seeing you guys. This is a coup, a takeover, as one might call it.
This is gonna be like a cast off.
A cast-on cast
do it.
action here.
All right, that is not all right.
Well,
Anyway,
I was not
let's-
informed of this.
This is the Capsule Cast section. For anybody who doesn't know, the Capsule Cast is our supporter-run podcast for the league that goes over all the teams. Everybody introduce yourselves, starting from the top.
Hello, my name is Donut. I'm one of the co-hosts for the Capsule Cast and Codes of Androids.
Hello, I am Dorgard, the main host of the podcast and a Bujin supporter.
And hello, I am Pickle Jeff, aka Oasis, aka Abe, who is a Namek coach and the co-host who is never there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but you did recently get a new member as well. He's not here though.
Yes,
Yes.
we've recently added Destiny, but due to only having basically being kind of a new addition to help with the off season and next season, so we can rotate more and keep it a little easier, he'll be joining on board. But not many people know him if they're not active in the Discord. So if they watch the videos, he was in a few, but he's not quite maybe as pronounced. So didn't feel like we needed to bring him in here today.
Yep. Fair enough. Yeah. So how you guys doing? How's the Capsule Cast doing? You guys had a bit of a break recently.
Indeed. Capsule doing pretty well. We're getting things ready for some off-season events we're gonna do.
Mhm.
So that'll be fun. And we're gonna get that started tomorrow, I believe. And then hopefully have the first recording out next week? Question mark? I believe so. So.
I gave a small snippet of what you guys are, but for anybody who doesn't know or hasn't followed Capsule Cast before, how about you give them a breakdown?
Alright. So basically Capsule Cast is supporter run. I went to Geom way earlier last year before the season started. Said, hey, can we do some sort of podcast type format, like almost like the Ydcast from before, where we kind of just break down what happened in each match, certain standout characters, or not, right? Some that had some tough times. Kind of do some predictions for future matches. Have just general DBZ commentary over things, and it's basically a way to highlight some of the talking points of the matches for those who were not there, as well as to have representatives from other teams, coaches, supporters, staff who want to be on the cast, kind of give their thoughts on how matches went down.
Yeah, so a much more analytically driven cast, I would say. You guys really get into the nitty-gritty of a lot of teams, and you guys also make some predictions, I believe?
So yeah, basically a kind of a simple rundown is we run through all the matches. We actually, if you're just listening, you just hear us talk, but I actually do visuals of stats for each of the matches, so we can kind of go over, kind of help link people to what the numbers mean. They can understand a little better of builds and such. And then we go through predictions for the next week, since we have the schedules made well in advance. You know, the whole season's basically predicted besides playoffs at that point on who's going against who. So we try to end with some predictions to be fun and get active with the community. Still working on that. We definitely gained views as the season went on, but I guess overall, in terms of like kind of connecting predictions, that's still a work in progress. But who knows? There was a lot of interactive polls here in the postseason around playoffs. Maybe we can start kind of adding that in and make that another addition to where it's like we end the playoffs on one week and next week it's a little better because we can look at what people predicted. So it's a constantly growing process, and that's kind of how it is with a lot going on with the season this year.
Yeah, we at staff have like talked about introducing polls in a more official light, in a more official setting. So if we get that going properly, I think you guys will be able to make great use of it and be another way to sort of link everything together real nice and easy. But yeah, you guys have been preparing a new type of cast, or I guess interview, for this off season, right?
So basically, I kind of pitched this, I believe, pitched this to Dwardite earlier in the season. We kind of want to do some sort of event for the off season where we kind of go through team by team and do like a team-wide interview. I know that was a thing that was back in earlier seasons, back in the school year, and I always liked that. I wanted to be on that myself, so I figured, well, why not do it, right? So I have starting from the teams that were eliminated first and going all the way to the winners, which would be Muscle. We're going to go through each team and kind of do interviews on with the supporters and the coaches, and that'll be a weekly thing.
Yeah. I hope the best of luck to you guys with that, because I remember trying to do it and I never got through it. So, I have a feeling you guys will be more dedicated than me.
Yeah, season 9 it was.
The only team we unfortunately missed this season was Earth Defenders due to scheduling conflicts, and unfortunately, on top of scheduling conflicts, they were also the team eliminated from West Kai, meaning that they didn't really have another week to come in to talk about their team. So that wasn't necessarily on our side, unfortunately. They had it was a personal matter mixed in with some teams just don't have that many supporters with mics. As you may guys have noticed, we had Ryan on basically every time with Muscle because he has other supporters, but they're just not comfortable talking to us. They just don't want to be in there, and that is totally fine. So we try to work around all of that and give, just give that insight to teams, because there's usually at least one person, usually the coach, that are very, very, enthralled with their team and want to kind of get their name out there and talk about what they do and what made them love their team so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity to the Capsule Cast is a way of sort of introducing people to all the teams a bit in a more natural setting, and also sort of giving so following the league and actually watching the matches, you're always going to see the crazy shit that happens, and you're going to hear the builds, but it's not always going to click. I think the Capsule Cast is a great way for anybody who's not super into the builds yet, who wants to get into the builds, who wants to get into the more nitty gritty of it, to slow down and hear what's going on, how people are coming up with ideas, why a team might be struggling or might be doing well, things of that nature. So, yeah, I think it's a really beneficial cast for us right now. In the meantime, while we continue talking, I do want to point back at the live chat, and if anybody has any questions for our Caps and Caps people, feel free to ask them right now. Anything about how they function, their format, anything you might want to see them do in the future, or about the individuals in the group. That's Donut, Dorgard, and currently Pickle Jeff or Oasis, however you want to go. Drop the question in the live chat and they will get it answered for you as best they can.
We've been forgetting to do this part with all the other facets of the league, but we got to know your guys' favorite chips. It's important.
Oh, we'll bring them back in later, I promise.
Bring it back. All right. For me, just to answer that question, for me, it'd be Lay's. Just original Lay's. It's classic.
Holy chips. Yeah, I like Ruffles because I like how easy they are to get into different chip dips such as ranch and stuff. So
okay.
Yo, no wonder I like you, Dorgard. I love Ruffles personally, so.
So it's the Ruffles and the basic Lays.
All right, we're going with basic potato chips this time around.
Yeah, nothing crazy, nothing out there. Respectable though. Respectable. You guys can
Oh.
stay on as Capsule Cast because of those answers.
Now I'm changing my answer. I want the pizza flavored goldfish. Final response.
Lock it in.
All right.
Locking
Okay,
it
well
in.
that was your last day as an Capsule Cast.
Well, moving on.
All right, well, as host,
So-
that's very unfortunate for my co-hosts here because they do not like the setup as much as I do.
So out of curiosity, I know you guys generally try to grab at least one person from each team and all. From week to week, how do you guys, I guess, choose who you gonna bring on?
Okay, I guess I'll take this one since I'm usually one who asks people. Usually, we look at the divisionals first and see which ones are the more hype, divisionals of the week. And we also take into account future divisionals, right? So let's say if Muscle has a divisional in week 13 but not 15 or 14, then we'll prioritize Muscle's divisional, right? Then if we've covered all those teams before, then we'll look at things that have like a hype matchup between them, or a very insane ending like the Budokai and Bujin's match, right? So that's usually how we do it, but usually want to prioritize the winning team of those divisionals or the hype matches. We don't want to usually have the losers interview, right? It's always a feels bad. So we prioritize the divisionals, the winners of those, and then any insane matches, generally.
Yeah, we kind of just.
Mhm.
I was just going to build on. We basically just try to look at it to where every team can come on with a week where they have a big interest in their match, as said. So ideally, most of the time, divisionals end up in a way to where every team can kind of be on a week that they're having one. But sometimes there's not. Luckily, there are a few rivalries here and there with the league, or just you have ends up being, oh, this week we're having this team that's doing really well versus this team doing really well. Only one of them can win. So it some of it's luck of the draw, most of it's, as Donut said, trying to pre-plan around existing factors.
Yep.
Would you guys consider doing like a Jerry Springer type show where you bring on the two teams and they're like, who's gonna win? Why do you think you're gonna win?
We could definitely do that in the future. We had a thing similar to that since we have we had Bujin's and Namek, right?
Yeah.
So that was just luck of the draw, as they say. But yeah, we can definitely see if we can implement that. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but
Right.
there's a lot of scheduling issues can happen. But it's definitely something we could do, without doubt.
There has been a question that's come in. From Armed Weiss, how did your overviews of matches change over the weeks? So has there been any modifications to how you do your segments, I guess?
That would be Dora, I believe.
Oh, it was a mess, a bloody mess to start. If you watch the ones on the test channel and coming through, they were just blank slates. And funny enough, half those weren't actually blank slates. We edited them because my attempts to make visuals were horrendous, to put it mildly. So there was very much a learning process. So overviews of matches changed from what stats we look at to what can we present and explain and keep it simple enough, because some people aren't watching, they're listening. So it was finding that balance. And even now, I'm always open to criticism on what can be added or not. I mean, it's always going to be adapting to what people want to see or hear. And I've just kind of tried to put together something that seems interesting to us when we're looking at it and reviewing and going, hey, there is, this is something that seems interesting, is keeping the base DPS stats or whatever we can, so that when we're talking, it just helps even in the guests, because not everybody has time to watch every match. So anything we can do to make it easier on those watching to presenting is the idea. So the overviews in terms of what we're looking at has changed. In terms of overview of reacting to matches, it definitely opens your eyes when you're staring at stats a lot more and going through every team. And I think Donut and Oasis can attest, really anybody touching stats or looking at them can attest, that you really get your eyes open to characters you didn't realize and how teams function a lot more when doing interviews. And that's one reason we want to do the team interviews, is to really open up people to the thought process, because every team does it different. You'd see Defense +2 Patara used in a million different ways with these. So the overviews and looking at everything changes so dramatically. So, it's just such a fun process to be a part of, and just to see all of the different ideas thrown about.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty thorough answer. So let me ask a question for sort of you and the watchers here. Now I know you guys are gonna do the team interviews, and so that's something you're looking forward to. But is there anything else you've thought about that maybe is a more long-term thing, something farther in the future that you would like to do? And for the viewers, is there anything you would like to see the Capsule Cast do? They are the most consistent podcast we have. The DragonCast is a little bit more flimsy, as you've seen. So, is there anything you guys have in mind that you've considered or are considering?
Allow me to interject on that, actually. During the, what was it, League's Biggest Loser? Something like that. I forgot what the event was called.
LVP.
The LVP.
LVP, yeah.
LVP, thank you so much. We did a different version of the cast. Ran a bit different with a couple of interviews, a couple clips from actual matches themselves. I was wondering what the reception is on adding clips from stream. Like, would that actually make a difference when we talk about matches, or would that just be a hindrance to what's going on? What about what we're talking about? Because I had the feeling that adding, like, when we talk about, say, like Fasha going elite, adding the clip of her finishing off the last kick make things more engaging, but maybe not. I don't know.
Personally, I'll actually give some input on this, because when I used to do the YCast, and a man by the name of X Justified or Kale used to be the head of it and running it. There was one season where he would go out of his way to actually take the entire match, clip out the entire match that we were talking about, and then speed it up to match the speed of our commentary, the speed of how long we were talking about. So it'll fit for the exact time and length we talk about that team. We found that there was more engagement with that, personally. Now, that's a lot more work, and he stopped doing that. But I think it helped people to see what you're talking about, because sometimes people don't remember. Or maybe they missed the stream and they still want to just listen to what you were talking about, but things just don't click if they haven't seen it. So, yeah.
Yeah, to build on that, me and Oasis have talked a lot about trying to add in clips. It just comes down to time, resources, how we're setting it up, because sometimes it's literally all we have is the 2-hour period to record it. So part of that time is getting everything together and then going, and then rendering it, getting it going, and then that's kind of it. So it really just depends. I know Oasis himself has said he tried it himself to add in some, and he's like, okay, this is a lot more work than I realized, but within a more manageable area. So it's definitely one area we have looked at.
Yeah,
exactly.
I will say it is a lot of work. So, like, no one's gonna blame you for not doing it.
Oh no, it's like I'm fine with doing the work, especially now that I have the internet to actually, put out the effort and stuff like that.
Right.
It's just more, do the people want to see it? That's all I really want to know. Is it worth putting the effort in?
So you guys could always do polls. You always poll the community.
True.
Yeah. I think we got another question.
Yeah, so there's a question from Destiny, funny enough, the fourth member, asking if we want to cover special events from the league. And I don't know if this is directed towards Tournament Power or the other events that have happened. And we actually thought about maybe splitting those off, like the Tenkaichi and all that stuff, and not having whether or not that should be one big cast, kind of like we're doing here today with all the different sections you guys have, or if it should be something spread out so we can go more in depth. It really comes down to schedules, but I enjoy just doing it in general, but I'm definitely more personal towards the league because I'm super competitive, and I think Donut and Oasis did it on their own, the LVP. So it's definitely with having multiple people, we can take on challenges like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I guess for me, I like to cover I can cover both of them. I like personally to cover the main lead more so than the side events like an LVP or the Gauntlet type of thing. Not that I hate covering it. It's just that I prefer one over the other, right? Now if I was going to and Dora said, "Hey, we need to cover the LVP or the MVP," I'm like, "All right, yeah, we'll do it. That's no problem, right? No questions asked on that." But my preference would be towards the main matches.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm willing to cover anything and everything. So when these two, especially like when we covered the LVP, Dora wasn't very interested, I will admit. So I leapt at the chance to just run it. And if that's the case with the Tournament of Power, then that's how it is. But I know since we have Destiny and Donut, and Dorgar is going to be around more, we should be able to cover as many events that DBZ League is able to throw.
Yep. Well, the Tournament of Power in specific is going to take up a lot of time. So if you guys want to cover something that's not the team interviews during the off season, you'll at least have that.
Yes. So if we want to cover some of those matches, we can, or even just the playoff versions of those matches. Same thing.
I mean, there's a lot we can do. I'll just say on something that me and Donut thought about as well is being that we are both also testers, so we have access to a lot of stuff, is maybe one day we can be or use CapsuleCast as the avenue to help with some of the tutorial videos on stuff like what Pataras do. So maybe not necessarily going through and making some crazy stuff, but at the very least we have a very good understanding of what almost all the Pataras offer and what they do and how builds kind of function, like what can combo with what negates what, and maybe one day we can help with additions and stuff like that. So there's a lot we can achieve. It's what do we have, what ends up happening, what time happens, what, because there's a million plans going by everybody has ideas of what to do, such as the secret plot to destroy Budokai through the cast. Obviously Andy knows that quite well.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Talk about that more while Malakai's in here.
Do tell.
Yes.
Do tell.
No, it was just a funny coincidence of when we were looking back through predictions, we didn't realize how often we were actually predicting against Budokai and them winning, and we were like, well, we didn't mean to do that. It was just when it came down to it. I mean, I think the same happened for a few teams, and I think we voted for Sentai like every week, even though they struggled. So it's like when you're making predictions, you just look at the factors and make your guess, and obviously opinions are going to be a part of it, and opinions also could not. It just depends. So more or less was just a funny coincidence that ended up happening. And I think some people just took it and tried to run through it the meme wise, just like with one bar Kakarot and such that came about with the streams.
But yeah, there's honestly the CapsuleCast is a very new thing. While you guys did say it was sort of working off the general concept of the Ycast, I feel like it's quite its own thing at this point. So you guys could take that in any direction, really. There's a lot of ways you guys can go and can pursue it. So you've got time, and it's still only been one season, and podcasts take a while to form, I think. So there's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oasis, when you gonna make some mad beats for us, so I don't have to look up copyright chill vibes every time. I have my 5-hour playlist, but like it would be nice. I mean, that's another area. Who knows? Maybe people start making music or other things. I believe it was it you, J-Man, that made the image we use for it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Because that's something like, who knows? Maybe we could have that update each season, whether it be the characters change or I don't know. There's so much minute things just in that can change. So who knows? Obviously, I was hoping that maybe one day my MS Paint skills aren't so trash that maybe I can update it weekly so that when we have a guest from a different team, it's a little different image. But J-Man made one that was so good looking that my trash edits were not worth it. So
I would highly recommend.
That's why we have the graphics team.
Yes.
I would highly recommend checking out photopia.com or something, because I can give you the base file and you can edit it every week. I just get so busy with streams and doing all the other graphics that my plate kind of gets piled up.
The nice thing about like something Jay's talking about, if you get the file to edit the thing, in a lot of them, I'm not 100% sure on Photopedia, but I know in Photoshop, you can literally set a folder that has all the all the effects for whatever item you put in there, and all the attaches effects to the item. So like you have the cell in the middle that is like blackened out and has an outline. A folder can have that effect attached to it. You could put the cell within that, and boom, he automatically has that effect. So if you have like a bunch of character images already just waiting but like non-visible, you can just swap them out whenever, something like that. And for the text on it, it's not tough. That one's easy. As long as you have the file, you can that's typing. You know how to type, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, it comes to the time constraint. Donut runs a ton of stuff. I try to keep up with them in testing because I'm insane. We all have our own things, and we're also, again, all supporters. Oasis and Donut are coaches, so they have a lot they have to keep track of. I'm lucky enough that on Boochins we have very active members that are able to kind of take turns on submitting tests and such. And Destiny being on Cinema, they have a whole system set up to keep it simple. I know a lot of teams do, so a lot of it comes down to time and doing that. And I know I became very burned out as the season came on with how much time I spent. If you notice, what I talk about in the cast changes as it goes along. We cut down a lot on the summary portions just because I got tired of writing it. So
failure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on the graphics thing, that's something that we can work with the graphics team on to like get a nice, easy, modular one, I guess would be the word here. But yeah. And in terms of you guys improving stuff, I think it'll come with time, and you get more hands on deck for stuff with Destiny, and you guys hopefully won't get as burned out as much.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea with bringing on some people to rotate around. I don't think it's burnout from doing it. I think it's just burnout from setting it up, and I think that's why it's so great you guys have so much staff, so many commentators, there's so many testers. There's not individuals in anything. There's a nice group, so you don't have to do the same amount every week because there's other people that can kind of help keep kind of the quantity there.
Yeah, again, like we've said this before, this league really, really is a community-driven league. There is so much that just wouldn't function if it was just staff alone, or just staff and testing, or just staff and stats, or just staff and coaches. Like every single part, every single group, every single person that lends their time makes this league function at the level that everyone has seen it, and that includes you guys at the Capsule Cast. That's a whole set of production and extra entertainment for people to watch every week. Like this whole league is a huge endeavor, and not just for us, not just for any one group, or it's for everyone here. And that's why we have the stream here. That's why we're showcasing all you guys, because goddamn, there is a lot of you.
There's a lot of people that help this league.
Every
be
person
where
on
it
the
is
stream,
right now,
8 more.
and all.
Absolutely. All right, we might be a little bit early. I think about 5 minutes. But is there anything else you guys want to say? Any closing statements?
Thank you to everybody who, for some reason, decided Capsule Cast should also be a part of staff. Every single person besides Destiny joining late got a nomination of some form. So, funny enough, apparently they thought we were already staff. So they're like, "Oh, let's make them staff."
Yeah.
Donut for president, by the way.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be leading the polls here.
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you to I think Guillaume is the person I pitched this idea to way back when, with the idea of a podcast. So thank you for helping us get it approved.
Yeah, it'd be weird of me to say no after the Livecast.
And so thanks for everyone who's tuned into it, and appreciate it and giving feedback. We do look at it.
Yeah, and big shout out to Toshiro for helping. I know both you and Jim really did a lot for helping manage people and guests and all that, and making sure everything's run smooth. So there's a lot of work you guys did behind the scenes people don't know anything about that really did matter a lot.
And Tosh actually picked up a lot of it, especially on the latter half. So give most of the credit to him. And Oasis, do you want any final words, or?
I mean, besides, thank you for listening to DragonCast and to Capsule Cast. But yeah, your support is always appreciated. Staff being staff, actually providing the numbers for us to be so analytical and nitpicky at times is a blessing, I must say. But yeah, just hopefully you have fun as much as we have fun doing the cast. Of course, if we can improve in any way, just let us know. We'll do it.
Yeah. And I think that's it. So thank you for your time, guys, and enjoy the rest of your day in the stream if you stick around to watch it. We're almost over.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. Enjoy the rest of the stream, guys. And this has been the Capsule Cast.
Adios.
Yeah.
You're not
See
from
y'all
yet,
later.
don't I?
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. And don't want to stick around for a second, but give me a small minute break or so, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Whew, it's going on, what is it, 3 hours now?
Something like that.
Starting to feel like that one staff meeting that refused to end.
Oh, yeah.
That
Didn't you
4.5 hours.
Oh, I remember.
Any of the new staff nominees, this is what you get to look forward to.
Hell yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. That's what we did for TOP, so it's no different than that.
All right. Apologies for that. I am ready.
Oh.
Pullman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Alrighty.
All right. Tournament of Power. It's your time.
Hell yeah.
All right. Introduce yourselves, top to bottom, I guess.
Alright, hey, I'm Donut again. How's y'all doing? Part of the staff for TOP and Coach Androids.
Hi, I'm an enemy controller. I am the coach for the hybrids.
Hi, hello there. I am Spoofy. I am in Tournament of Power event staff, and I am the coach of Cold Kingdom.
And welcome, guys. Just a small thing, Spoofy. You are getting a slight echo, so can I ask you to mute while you are not speaking?
All right.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Outside of that, would one of you guys want to explain what the Tournament Power is? Because this is probably one of our biggest and newest things available, and would probably need the most in-depth explanation. Anyone?
Don't jump all at once.
Sure, I think Spoofy is the one who kind of took the helm on this one, so I'll let him explain it.
Yeah, sorry if there's like an echo. I don't know why, but so the base concept is essentially there is two tournaments, the preliminaries and the Tournament of Power. Both of them are 4 weeks each. You can think of the preliminaries as the main season and the Tournament of Power as the playoffs. So the teams of this all, there's 16 teams like the main league, and each of them are comprised of at most 2 people. And of these teams, there are 3 characters in each team. How these characters are decided is through a snake draft. If you don't know what a snake draft is, it's essentially round 1 will go team 1 all the way to team 16. Round 2 will be team 16 to team 1. Round 3 will be team 1 to team 16 again. And how you draft these characters is through a point system. Each team has up to 15 points, and each character that can be drafted all have a point value. So for example, Dr. Giro has a value of 1 point, Devilman has a value of 3 points, and Frieza has a value of 8 points. And long story short, your 3 characters have to equal or be below 15 points. So for example, my team, because I'm in the event, is Cell, who's 8 points, Grandpa Gohan, who is 3 points, and Birder, who is also 3 points. And that's under the 15-point threshold. So right now, the event's doing really well, and we are currently in our testing phase, meaning we have all the teams set up, we have all the characters drafted, and now it's just testing, and then the preliminaries, and then the Tournament of Power. So that's just a pretty brief summary of what the event is.
Yep. Just to add a little extra info, this is going to be going on for 2-ish months, roughly, from this point onward, I believe.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, so
2.5 like that.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of content, and it'll be a big part of our off season. This off season, we're all hoping it'll go well. We've already gotten a lot of participation for it being the first time, and this is actually a really assuming this season goes well and future seasons get similar types of activity for it. It'll continue to be a thing. It's also a thing for newer people, right?
Yes, yeah, it's designed to help some of the newer members to teams or people who don't have a team to try to learn how to build and get their hands dirty with knowing what Batars do and how they interact with each chapter. So that's part of the thing we had with assigning members to teams. We had people who are newer, get first priority on them, and then people who have coaching or staffing experience, they were on the back half of it.
Yeah. So now the team selections have been closed for this off season, but assuming this continues to be a thing in future seasons, if you are ever interested in joining the league as more than just a viewer, if you want to help learn it but are a little unsure if you can help an already established team, this is the place to do it. Every time you create your own teams, there's no history behind them, and you can just have fun messing around and learning the league that way. And you'll get paired up with somebody else most of the time. And the more people join, you'll definitely get paired up. So you can have somebody who might have a little bit more knowledge, and you can learn with them at the very least. So I think it's a great opportunity, and it's sort of filling in a niche role that we haven't had filled in before.
Yeah, and just to answer a question that I think was asked during the staff's portion about what our expectations were for this event. So I'm gonna be real. During the conceptualization of this tournament, I did not think we would make it this far, because to get to where we were, we had to essentially present what we have to the staff, and then they would go over it and approve it. And before we got approved, I really did not think that we would get approved. I very much had cold feet. I was like, oh wow, are we really gonna make it? But then here we are. But a funny thing is, when we did officially make the announcement about the Tournament of Power after the Tenkaichi Bowl, when people started talking about it in the chat, the first things I saw about it were a bunch of people saying, oh, I'm not going to participate in that. I have other things to do, which is completely understandable. But I just got really sad. I was like, damn, we did all this hard work, and the first response is, oh yeah, we're not going to participate. But it's okay, because we got a lot of people anyways.
Yeah, you guys got a lot. You know what? I think it was because I think what you saw was a lot of the already active coaches and stuff saying that, but obviously they're already busy, and it's not mainly targeted at them. Now they can participate, and several are, but you guys did actually manage to hit, I think, a lot of the target demographic you're aiming for: supporters of teams who aren't more involved as coaches or in other departments, and even some new people who haven't really spoken up much in other positions. So I think it's worked exactly as you've aimed for. But yeah, now do you guys want to go over a little of what you've already done with how far you've gone into this season's TOP?
So what we've done so far is we started with first informing everyone of what this tournament is about. So after it was announced, we gave probably an hour, I think, for people to just, one, process the bowl, and then two, read up on all the information necessary. Then we opened the signups, which Donut went over earlier, where we, for the first week, only let newcomers join, and then people who just don't have a team, just so that they would get priority, and then we let everyone else in. And then after that, to kind of organize the teams, we have a team representative. This team representative is supposed to be like an acting coach, who will, technically they have tie-breaking power, and they should be the one guiding conversations, but they're still expected to not abuse it, and they're expected to compromise with their supporter. So that was a very necessary thing we had to get through, because for the drafting phase, if teams can't decide with their partner, oh, let's go for this character, let's go for that one, it can get really messy really fast. So deciding that team rep not only helps build fundamental factors in the league, it also just makes things more smoothly. And then after that, we did get to drafting, and we finished the drafting very quickly. We had set aside, I think, around 2.5 weeks for drafting, and we got through it in probably like 4-5-ish days. And now all the teams are decided. Now teams are picking team names because we want to like let people personalize their teams even further. We're getting banners done by our amazing graphics team. Thank you, Jay. And right now, as I said earlier, we are just at the testing phase. We haven't gotten tests out yet, but ideally, and I mean ideally, no promises, the tests should be coming somewhat soon, ideally. Yes, and that's where we are.
Yeah, we've got one question for you guys by Dorgard. Are there any surprising picks by teams, favorite team combos you've seen, or team names you've enjoyed? Since you have gone through the whole drafting portion now.
For me, my favorite team that was selected was Andy's team. He picked 19.
Oh god.
I wonder if there's some bias there.
A lot of bias.
No bias.
Yeah.
No bias. No bias.
I detect lots of bias.
Personally, for me, I very much enjoy the team called Alternative Z Fighters. I think that's led by the user Minecraft Steve. His team is made up of General Blue, Spopovich, and Mid Goku. I very much respect Spopovich. That man gets slandered all the time in our survey. He deserves justice. And I was gonna pick him. I was, but no. They picked him up, and I'm sad and I'm angry. And I also like General Blue. He's an underused person. And then, Mid Goku exists. He's there. But
He's fine.
Spopovich is the real highlight. Mid Goku,
For me at least, I actually like the team Bounce Breakfast, Jace, Burdock, Sin Shinron, because I love Jace. I think Jace is a great character. Burdock, I love obviously is a great character as well. So like they're all like are pretty cool characters. And I actually was shocked that no one picked up Team Gohan or like Frieza. I'm actually shocked no one picked those guys up.
Yeah,
Really?
a lot of people. I love this. I love that the community is doing this. But a lot of people just sort of agreed, hey, I want to have fun with this. I don't want to pick the most competitive, strongest team possible. I don't want to pick like the characters you think would trash everyone else. I just kind of want to go, hey, let's come up with a cool, fun idea. And I think that's good. I don't personally. One of the worries I had when the Tournament of Power was being created, the idea behind it was, is this just going to be another mini league that's just as competitive? Are people going to take it too seriously? But no, it seems great. Like at least right now, it seems people are just having fun with it, which is it's an off-season event, right? I'm assuming that's what you guys were aiming for too, to some degree, just people to have fun with it, to enjoy their time with it, not take it too seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I was expecting people to like at least take a little bit seriously and draft certain characters, you know.
Yeah,
but
not draft like Goldo, Jiro, and I don't know,
Frieza Soldier.
Yeah, that would be
Hell
a
yeah.
questionable team. But
Yeah, that sounds like the best team though.
oh,
Is
does
it?
it now?
Ooh, that sounds no bueno.
Just remember, this is coming from the president of the Hate Dr. Club.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is just a personal thing for me, I love the event I'm participating. I love this kind of event because with the actual league, it's hard for us to sometimes do, like, we could never implement this in the league as it is now. Like, we could never do a draft system with what we currently have. So it's great to have this because it gives people this new fun thing to do. And I personally can't wait for the seasons coming because I want this event to get bigger and bigger each season. Because we have the off season is just a blank era. It's always been just a blank time. But if we can actually put in something that is almost as like, I don't know, in depth as the actual league, I think that would be awesome. Because then it gives staff some time to reevaluate what we need to do, but it gives the viewers and the supporters stuff to do that isn't just testing, because that can get monotonous after a while.
Yeah. Also, to make it clear, like currently our last off season was very short, under 3 months, and this off season is not going to be more than like 4 months in total. But going forward from here, though, the whole reason these are short is because we have to start quickly last time, and we have to adjust our season schedule this time. But after that, it's going to be like a 6 months long off season because we're going to do these leagues annually. 6 months is a lot of time to just have a break. So the TOP, we really do hope it can like fill in that gap, and if it becomes a bigger and better thing, more power to it, man. That's only good.
Not gonna lie, I literally thought, I was like, by the time I think sign up ended, I was just like, I should have probably joined. I actually thought, like, I really actually wanted to join it at the last minute. I was like, yeah, guess we'll wait. I'll wait. So, but I'm actually excited to see how it turns out.
I think people are gonna like it. I think people are really gonna enjoy just the crazy teams, if nothing more than that. I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait to see what people come up with.
Yeah, and also just to add on to something that I forgot to mention earlier, the Tournament of Power can also be, I guess, in a way, testing for the staff, in a way, because we also did change some Patara values. So, for example, Draconic Aura, it used to be like 3 points. I think we made it to 2 points. A lot of 2-point Patars that never got any usage, such as Dragonheart, Essence of Sight, Gigantic Power, Guard Master, etc. They've been dropped down to 1 point. We also did add in some restrictions that normally aren't in the main league. Like, we banned a few characters. We allowed teams to have we gave each team a free Master of Roshi's training, just to like make the matches longer. So while not all of that would be used as like, oh, staff, look at this can work, there are like the Patara changes that staff can look at and be like, very interesting, very build changing. So yeah,
the TOP is a let's say less competitive field, a less serious scenario, and I guess event. So in theory, we could go to it and say, hey, let's see what they're doing. Let's see how people are reacting to certain ideas. Let's see how those ideas get implemented. Because one of the things is with making decisions like that is you can hypothesize what it'll do and the consequences of it, and you can hypothesize how people will react to it and what people will do with those changes. And then there's actually what happens, and usually you always miss something. It's very, very hard to tell how it will affect things, especially when humans get involved. People just end up finding really creative ways to use new systems and to find either loopholes or to find like a new way to utilize like a Patara or a build or a lineup or whatever sort of new thing they're given. So yeah, like just getting, while it won't translate directly, specifically because there are some differences between the two leagues. TOP is on a slightly different difficulty. It's a 3v3, it's with Roshi's trainings, it's drafted teams every season. There are some things that we can't pull from it. So yeah, it definitely is an interesting playground in some capacity. You have gotten one question from Star Desi. I think that's Destiny.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind just the 3 characters?
Essentially, we tried to keep it as similar to the 4v4 regular season matches we see in DBZ Main League. And that is a a summation of 16 bars. So with the Master's Roshi on 3 characters, we're at 15 bars, which is about the same amount of HP to get through as if it was an actual match. So we try to keep it as similar to that.
All right. Yeah, another question just came in from Armed Weiss. What sort of main league restrictions aren't in the TOP? Like, are Super Saiyans allowed to start in higher forms?
So just to kind of touch on that, this event isn't implementing the new staff changes that have just gone in. For example, there have been the Master Blast changes. We are not, at least not right now, we haven't incorporated any of the new changes. So for example, with, I believe, N Vegeta, he's been recently allowed to start in SSJ2 in the main league. That's not the same here. Because at the end of the day, it's very iffy to just keep making changes along with the main league.
Yeah.
And just to kind of go into the different restrictions in the TOP, I don't know if we have any less restrictions per se. We probably do somewhere, but a lot of it is actually more additional restrictions outside of like the general Patara changes. For example, we don't allow fusions here. That can get pretty complicated really quickly. And this event is just supposed to be kind of chill. The forms of characters are very much restricted in this league. For example, Cell, he is banned from being in Super Perfect, and he's not allowed to transform. Because we felt that him having that many health transformations in this event, in such a smaller like team comprised event, would be OP. Same for Frieza. If he's in first or second form, he cannot transform. He's required to have a Brawly's ring. But if he started in third form, he would be allowed to transform if he wanted to. So, and just another example, Brawly, he's not allowed to start in his Super Saiyan form. He has to start in base. So there probably are restrictions that are in the main league that aren't here that I can't think of, but for the most part, aren't Patara related. But for the most part, we did add in a few extra restrictions that, while yes, they are restrictions, they do also force more fun things like Cell in lower forms. We never get to see that. Or Frieza, if he was in this tournament, he would be built and used very differently than he would in the main league. So yeah, Donut and Controller, if you want to add on to that stuff that I forgot about, feel free to.
Yeah, also like we also had to ban certain characters because we felt like they were too strong. Like I said, Final Form Frieza would be like really strong, by himself. Like pretty much had to get rid of people that could essentially like sweep teams, like sweepers pretty much. Because we couldn't obviously have that in the league because we didn't only have 3 characters. So like that's probably more it probably would happen more often than not, so as well.
So sort of cut off the really high-end characters to even things out a little bit more.
Yeah,
or at least
yeah,
high-end
exactly.
forms. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we try to avoid it where we can say, oh, just pick perfect Cell and you win, type of thing. But essentially.
Yeah. Destiny also said that noticed that you guys brought in Tapion, Vegito, and Pikkon into the TOP, which aren't currently available characters for regular pickup in Dragon Ball Z.
Well, the reason why they're in is because, similar to all the other FAs, they're not banned for being OP.
Yeah,
they're just not
weirdly locked.
able to be picked up.
Yeah.
Well, that can't be said for everyone. Like, for example, Adult Gohan, he's permanently on the FA bench or FA list in the main league. We didn't feel like it would be fair to have him in this league, in this event, though. But yeah, Tapion, we didn't feel like he was OP. We didn't feel like he would single-handedly, consistently take on 2 characters per match. So same with Vegito and Pikkon.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I've got a question for you guys. Is there any aspect, any part of the TOP that you're particularly looking forward to? If it's any specific matches between any teams, or if it's maybe just finals or whatnot? What do you think's going to be the most entertaining part for you guys as the staff members of it to watch?
For me personally, I'm interested to see how supporters of different teams utilize, teams that aren't theirs, right? So like Dordot is using 16. I'm curious to see what does he do with that, right? Does he have to come up with some crazy new build for him that I've never seen before, right? That type of thing is really curious, especially with the patella changes on things. Can give a lot of different combinations that they can explore.
For me personally, I love the draft. The whole draft part was awesome for me. Like I love seeing the people want to pick up, but they didn't want to pick up. You know, it was an exciting time because people were talking all the time, and it was like a really exciting time. You know, where like we had no idea who's going to pick up who. It was really cool to watch it unfold.
A
The whole
giant
thing.
mystery box and like a whole lot of community engagement in that. Yeah, I get that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd also have to agree. I was mainly looking forward to the draft. I thought it'd be a very fun like twist from the main league and very different and very like freeing. I'm also very excited to see the very underutilized forms or characters such as Cell. I picked up Cell because I respect the lower forms of Cell. I appreciate it.
Don't you hear that?
I hear it. I'm hearing it.
He will thrive under my watch. I'm excited to see Spopovich, General Blue. They never get the respect they deserve, but they will now, and no one can stop it. That is all.
We can talk about how respected Semi-Perfect is, but you know,
imperfect best form. All right.
We may have to have some fighting where, you know, saying Imperfect Cell is super good. We might have some fighting work.
So I have a question as
We
well.
did a test this season though.
And this is a really important question. It's why won't you give me Super Vegito, cowards? He was on the list. He was on the list for restricted Master Blast.
Oh, I almost forgot. I gotta ask all the segment members later on about this. But what's your favorite chip?
Oh, we're continuing that.
Well, yeah.
It's like
This is the whole point of the stream.
Gotta ask the important questions.
And that's what everyone's here for.
So we all know mine's the ways, so.
Yeah.
Mine was sour cream and cheddar and sour cream. The Ruffles, whatever it is.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Solid.
Enemy, who do you think you are? That's so nasty.
It's good, man.
We're gonna have a bit of infighting. The TOP staff's gonna fight it out over some chips.
What about you,
I
Sweet?
have taste.
No,
Actually,
plain
I
boy.
like barbecue chips. I like Takis. I like spicy
Oh,
Cheetos. So those are
Spoofy's my man.
Okay.
Spoofy knows what's up.
I like barbecue. I admit, I really love barbecue.
Like spicy Takis in specific. Top tier. Those are the top of the pyramid right there. Okay. All right. Anybody else in the staff have any questions for them? We'll give a few minutes for the live chat.
No questions from me. I'm just real excited to see how this goes. I'm very excited to see how Vegito works out. Because I love, like Jay, Vegito is actually one of my favorite characters. I actually like him more than Gogeta. So I'm very excited to see how he does, because you don't get to see him often, like you guys were saying.
I'm also interested to see like how the different format ends up working for you guys. I think it's a very nice shake-up compared to do a Swiss versus the very familiar round robin.
Absolutely. All right. I don't think we're gonna get any more questions in then. So, make your final.
Yeah, a couple.
Oh, we did.
We did. There.
Do we?
It's, Destiny and Armed.
Oh,
We
those
already
are.
answered those.
They're just more so making comments. That's not really a question for you guys.
Alright.
But anyway, yeah. So, do you guys have any final statements? Any closing statements you want to make? Any thing you want to shout out before heading
The
off?
rise of Spopovich is coming.
All right. Anything else? Anything but about that?
You'll see the light. We will connect. We will see eye to eye.
Okay.
We will
So,
see the light.
Torch, can you mute him?
All this slander on Spopovich, and for what? He's gonna be all of you. We'll all be.
And G, I don't think I can. We have the same permissions.
Oh,
The same rule.
Actually, we did just get 2 questions in.
Yeah,
One by Armed Weiss. This is also for the staff. Vegeta versus Gogeta. Who do you prefer?
Vegeta.
So,
Vegito.
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 Yeah.
What about everyone else?
I'm just not gonna count Super Vegito, and I'll say Vegito.
Wait. Okay, one sec.
I don't really have a preference between the two. They're both pretty boring, in my opinion. I don't really care about them.
Okay, all right.
I will say, when we're talking about blue Gogeta looks better than blue Vegito because there's just too much blue in his design. But Super Vegito is the best fusion ever.
Hey, which one has Big Bang Kamehameha?
That's Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
Yeah, then that's definitely that one.
Kind of Super Saiyan 4.
Oh, and I forgot in Super Saiyan.
I mean,
has it too.
if we're gonna go that direction, let's bring in heroes.
No, all right, we're not doing fanfics, okay?
Can we go Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito? There you go.
All right, let's go on to the
Dragon Ball
next question. What was the idea behind the healing? I wanted to ask. That's from Dusty.
So for the healing, again, this is a somewhat smaller format with 3 characters, and we just felt that with 3 characters, even with Roshi's training, that the healing may just like be a little more. It could be stronger in this type of format than it would be in the main league, and we just felt like it wasn't really worth the risk, because at the end of the day we can't know for certain that Eternal Life would be stronger here than it would be in the main league with Dende's healing. If you had a team that could have both Eternal Life and Dende's, we just felt like in the 3v3 format that having both Eternal Life and 2 Dende's healings would be too much, and could also just end up dragging matches on in a negative way instead of being very interactive, very fun. So yeah, that's essentially the reason.
So you guys actually are still 10k health less than a normal 4-man team.
Yes.
And with that, technically healing does have a bigger impact because there's about an average amount of HP that it gives in a match. And when you have less HP, that average actually is a higher percentage of the total HP you get. So that's reasonable, I think. I think that makes sense. But yeah, I believe that has been our final question for you guys. So once again, any closing statements?
Yes, actually, I want to say something. Make sure if you do like this event, at the end of this day, make sure to let the staff know and stuff, and so that hopefully we can obviously do this again. If it works out well, maybe we do it next year as well. I would love to do it next year with all you guys to have more people join in.
Just want to say thank you for having me join this event as a later addition on it, and thanks for approving the event when I went to the Dragon's Den a while back. That was
I mean, the
stressful.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, Dragon's Den according to Lloyd, right?
They're dragon sharks, G. They're dragon sharks.
Okay, all right, I'll accept it.
But yeah, so hopefully this event will go smoothly and everyone will enjoy it.
Yeah, I also did want to just thank the staff as well, because at the end of the day, we would not be able to actually have this event without them, without people like J-Man, without Mal, and just the staff as a whole. Because the 3 of us, me, Donut, and Emmy, we like definitely formatted a lot of stuff, but we can't execute all of it ourselves, and that's where like people like the staff come in and the graphics team come in to really just help us actually make this event happen. So be appreciative to them. I know some people were like, oh, I didn't realize that the staff like had endorsed you, but it was definitely for the best and for the like events like a benefit. And lastly, I said it before, I've said it multiple times, Spopovich propaganda will not be allowed.
Let's cut him off.
Cut the tape.
Cut the tape.
End the stream.
Yeah. Also, one last shout out. I know in the preparation for this, we had one other supporter help out, and that'll be Andy, with helping out get some of the formatting initially set up for this league. So, shout out to him for that.
Yeah. So, if any of you guys are interested in supporting the Tournament of Power and the Tournament of Power staff, whenever the videos start coming out and the streams start coming out, go and watch them, go and support them, go comment, follow the live streams. And for future seasons, hopefully we do another one. They get to run another one next off season, and go and join that one so they have more people to work with and more people running the teams and creating teams. Because honestly, it's all for you guys. It's all to get more entertainment out there and to get the new people something to work on and to get comfortable with. So outside of that, yeah, appreciate you guys showing up and spending your time and working on the TOP.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for all the work you guys have done.
Then we'll see you guys later. Adios.
Bye.
Later.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, should I end the stream, or do we want to say one final thing before we end it off?
I
As
guess
the
we can
staff.
just take 5 minutes. If anybody has any last questions for the staff, we can take them now, since we've got a much shorter staff section than normal. Yeah, so if anybody has any questions for staff, this is your last chance to get a voice response from us. We'll still obviously answer stuff in Discord. For the time being, I'm gonna chill. Go ahead and join our Discord. It's in our description down below, and I'm actually gonna post it in our live stream chat as well for you guys to go and join if you haven't already. So go and do that. That's where everything is. That's where our commentators are. That's where our stats people are, our testing people, our graphics people, our capsule cast group, our Tournament of Power people. Everybody is there. So if you want to help them out, you got to join the Discord. No other way around it. If you want to look at other stuff, we have the website where all our information for the league is, and you can learn all about the league there. It has Bataras, it has rule events, it has our schedules, everything's there too. And you can also check out and follow our Twitter. We heavily suggest doing it. If you're not in the Discord and you don't want to join the Discord, the Twitter's next place to follow stuff, because we'll put out announcements about, hey, a stream starting now that you might not know about, or hey, we're doing this event that you might not hear about if we're not on the Twitter. So yeah, go and join those, and if you want to help out the league, just jump in and leave us a message. We're welcoming to all types of people. So yeah,
I do want to say thank you to all of our volunteers, everyone that came on the stream, and even those who could not and everything, because honestly, I know I said it in previous DragonCast, you guys in our whole community actually helped make this and get us to where we are. We had a successful 2020 season, so hopefully we continue strong and on for the following season. So can't thank y'all enough.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, we did get a question about when the season's going to start. Probably late May, maybe early to mid June. It depends. We'll give you a more firm answer as we get closer. Yeah, that is it. With no more questions left, I think we can say our goodbyes. And like Tosh said, we appreciate everybody for showing up and for all of our volunteers for spending their time and their energy on the league.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this 3-hour and 40-minute stream.
Yeah, I guess this is us saying goodbye for now. We should be doing more DragonCast in the future without as many breaks as we had this time. So see you guys later.
All right, bye.
Goodbye.